All right. Hello, welcome to another live episode of the O&G Strike Zone right here on the Black College Sports Network. Bryan Fulford, Kelvin Rozier.
What's up, yo?
Brother? What up, yo?
All is well, man. All is good, man. Loaded show today, man. We got a lot to talk about. Got some championship coaches coming on. Then we got the whole game, the FAMU Avengers coming. So let's get it.
I don't know how we pulled all this together and put all this together. And if you wanted a 2-hour show, good luck. You know, there's going to be some O&G. I think there's going to be some O&G OT put in on this one tonight, man. I just got a feeling.
Somebody already called. They betting on 3+.
Ooh, so the over under is 3:05, 3 hours and 5 minutes.
Anything past 11.
Winner, chicken dinner. If we go past 11. All right. Well, let's get the quick little intro out the way. Want to welcome everybody coming in and joining us wherever you're watching us. Of course, all of the folks on the YouTube channel, my JB and online, watching on Facebook, Black College Sports Network, O&G Strike Zone. Might even be watching us on Instagram Live. I think that's running now. YouTube, O&G Strike Zone, on Twitter, Black College Sports Network, O&G Strike Zone, all the places. Wherever you're watching us, hit the thumbs up and the like button. Come be a part of the chats. The chats are going to be hot and heavy. It should be fun tonight. So make sure to do that. Of course, you can always donate to the show right there using the Cash App symbol, and that'll help, even a little cup of coffee helps keep the tank full, helps us keep going. So we appreciate all of your support in those efforts. All right. Well, as Kelvin said, here's the guest lineup. We got coming up here in just a moment. Our head softball coach, Coach Brittany Beall, is going to join us, fresh off of appearance today on the at the 220 QB Club, Eddie Jackson 220 quarterback club. Rave reviews from what I heard. I didn't get a chance to watch, unfortunately, just because I had classes going on. And then at the bottom of hour one, we've got Coach Jamey Shouppe joining the show, our head baseball coach. We are 9 days away, maybe a little more. Well, I know we're 9 days away from the start of the softball season, but then I think almost about the same amount of time for the start of the baseball season, if I'm not mistaken. Or is it a week later?
It's a few days later.
Okay, so see, this is why the show is called Diamond and Schedule Preview, because we're gonna get our diamond previews in hour one. In hour two is the schedule previews and the reviews of our new coaching staff with none other than our favorite FAMU sports media Avengers, as we like to call them. So the whole team will assemble coming up at the top of hour two. We know how much you guys love to hear all the voices in one place. And at some point in hour three, I don't know, we'll get to basketball. So if you have basketball, Jones for basketball, we'll talk about basketball, maybe some track and field, some bowling, and some tennis. Tennis has got stuff. So everything other than will be in hour three.
Yeah, and the only thing I add to that is look for next week. Signing day football is coming, so we're gonna, we have some baseball and some other recruits also. We're gonna try to do more of a recruiting show next week.
Doing some early promotions. All right, well, let's get into it. So without further ado, let's bring on our championship. I'm calling it our championship winning softball coach, heading into her second season leading the Rattlers. None other than Coach Brittany Beall. Coach, how you doing tonight, Coach?
Good. Good evening. How are you guys?
How you doing, Coach? Good to see you.
Good to see you as well.
Hey, we doing well, Coach. We doing well. Well, is this the first time? I guess we say Happy New Year, Coach. I mean, I know I don't like to do it this late, but I think this is the first time we've had a chance to see you and talk to you in 2026, right?
Yes, it is.
Okay, all right. Well, all the fall ball and all that stuff is done. How are we feeling going into the start of practices, and we are 9 days away from the start of the season?
We're feeling good. I think we're getting to that point where now we just want to play. You know how practice is probably like week 3, week 4 is kind of doing the same thing over and over again. So I think we're eager to get on the field and play. I think we're ready. We did a bunch of defensive stuff today, and we're ready. I really wholeheartedly think we're ready. And I think coming up that first weekend against Howard, I think that would really be a good test because I know we played them in the HBCU Invitational, last year. And I know they're going to be coming out swinging. So I think just trying to get our minds on trying to consolidate, tournament by tournament, because, the month of February for us is going to be a lot of traveling, a lot on the road, but it also solidifies kind of, who we can put in what positions. So I think at this point, we're just ready to play.
So let me go to that first question, right? And we look at the schedule there. What's the philosophy behind? I know every coach has a different philosophy when it comes to scheduling. And, I was, me personally, just a little disappointed not to see so many home games, but talk us a little bit behind the scheduling and the philosophy with the scheduling early and so many neutral or away games.
So I think softball is a little different. I mean, it's almost kind of like basketball as far as, the first part of your season, it's considered preseason, even though it's really not preseason, but it's really considered preseason because that gives you opportunity to play, obviously a variety of different competition. And so I think looking at our schedule and what we have, we needed to be tested and we needed to be tested early. And so, could we have done this and done that? I think we could have, but looking at the overall picture, I wanted to give us a really good variety of strengths of games. And I think like us going to UCF, that's going to give us a good competition going to play FIU. Obviously this weekend we're playing Campbell as well. So we also do have a midweek game with Florida State. And then we also have our first home game on the 10th against Marshall. So if you can look at the preseason as, hey, they want to be battle tested early. That way, when we go into SWAC conference, we can kind of solidify who our everyday starters are and try to figure out making sure that we are going to be competing for that SWAC championship come May.
Gotcha. Go ahead, Kelvin.
Yeah, I'm going to stick with the scheduling. And I think I heard you say you had 52 games. Is that the maximum number of games you can schedule in softball?
I think I've added 52 games because obviously the SWAC. But I think on our schedule, I think we have about 49.
Okay. All right. And I noticed that you during the SWAC conference schedule this year, you have some midweek games. I don't recall very many last year. I think I saw Troy. I think I saw Auburn. Can you just talk about, adding those midweek games during the conference schedule?
I think because the conference, obviously, we typically play that Friday and that Saturday. So again, I wanted with the pitching staff that we have, and obviously with the experience that we have returning, like I said, I just go back to being battle tested. I can't say that enough. Playing in Auburn is really going to give us a big eye opener in that time because we'll just be coming off from Alabama State. So we're just going to, it's Auburn and Montgomery are probably about 45 minutes apart from each other. And of course, I'll be happy to kind of be home in that setting, but just to be able to have the girls to experience that and see kind of where I played. And I think that is going to give us, like I said, a real good test and keep us on our toes and keep us honest throughout the season.
So also, Coach, at the 220 Club today, you mentioned about nutrition in terms of when the young ladies are actually practicing in town, not necessarily out of town stuff. So kind of talk about some things that, Rattler Nation might be able to help you with? And then how do they, for folks who might want to contribute, donate to it, how can they do that?
Yeah, so these girls are working extremely hard on and off the field. And as we're going throughout the season and we're trying to make sure that they're going to bring their best, because I want their best at the field, all from, 100% their best, but we also have to make sure they have to fuel their bodies. And I think just within this generation, sometimes they don't know the correct foods or the food groups to eat to be able to refuel those calories that need to go on the field. And so I don't know. My girls, they stay in the locker room 24/7. And that's just their happy place. So they go to study hall, they come in their locker room, they, warm up their food that they bring from home. So just having some small snacks just to kind of put into their mouths, just to kind of hold them over maybe until they have lunch or maybe after practice would be beneficial. And I'm not talking anything crazy. I'm saying, granola bars and, small little protein shakes. Lunch meat, bread, crackers, like just something kind of they can grab and go as they're going throughout their day. I could just remember being an athlete, I always carried my water around and carried little snacks here, snacks there, because again, you got to go to practice for 2.5, 3 hours of practice. And, like I said, your coach would want you to be at your best. So we have to make sure that we can help, provide those small things for them so that they can be champions on the field.
All right. So who do we need to, if we want to make donations, whether it be the actual items or contribute to it, where should we do that?
It could be actual items. You can send it to the softball locker room facility, or obviously you can donate to our foundation, 0006.
0006. Got it.
Thank you.
All right, so I know I got a text from our good friend Gail, making sure Gail knows how to get that nutrition targeted. So again, the FAMU Foundation 0006, and directly. You said where again can they directly target or send? Do people do the deliveries? Like, how you can do like a delivery and say I want to send a delivery to athletics, or did it send it directly to you? Is that acceptable? Is that possible too?
I guess I got to find out with compliance, but I want to speak. I want to speak before. Everything is, if anything edible, I think that's fine. But let me double check that, because like I said, I don't want to misspeak and say the wrong thing. But I would definitely double check, and then maybe you guys can kind of get that information out, to everybody. But I don't want to overstep.
Okay, gotcha.
No, we understand. We understand. The other thing about the schedule, I noticed as I'm looking at the schedule, we have more, I feel like, and Kelvin, correct me if I'm wrong, or Coach, you too, I feel like we're playing more tournaments in the state of Florida. I noticed outside of the Atlanta trip, we've got the tournament down at FIU, so that gives you a chance for the South Florida Rattlers to see you. Then, of course, you're coming to the UCF tournament, so myself and other Central Florida Rattlers will get a chance to see the team. I don't know if I recall that kind of scheduling before. Was that intentional?
I don't think so. It
just worked out that way. Just kind of worked out.
I think it kind of worked out that way, but like I said, I just kind of wanted to balance between the schedule. I know we have a lot of student athletes that are from the Central Florida area, and obviously I am too, but we do have on the team this year, we have quite a few Central Florida student athletes that are on the team. And I think, that's considered a home game for them, as well as going down to FIU. So I know that first weekend we are going to freeze, which, I think we've kind of been prepared, especially for this weather. I feel like this is the perfect timing for us to be able to practice in it, feel it, and see how we can breathe in it and how we can hit it and respond. So I think it's kind of like a blessing in disguise of being cold these last, 2 weeks, I think, for us to be up in Bowie's Creek, North Carolina.
I know it's ways away. And my last question regarding scheduling anything, I know you feel free to give me the coach speak, but March 23rd, going back to Auburn, have you processed? Is there like emotions when you think about that, or are we too far away to get there and start thinking about how emotional that return trip will be to bring your team back to the place you played?
I haven't really honestly thought about it. I think I'm a competitor. So I don't care if it's Auburn, I don't care if it's whoever, like we're going to compete on the field. And I want to build the girls up for sure on that. But I think just having that moment with them and showing them kind of where it started for me on obviously in the collegiate level, but I think just allowing them to see different venues and allowing them to see different people. I think we played what team? We played Florida last year for SEC. So I think that was the only SEC school that we played last year. I believe so. I know we're going to go back to Florida in 2027. So I think just kind of like I said, exposing them to something different, being on that side of Alabama, and just allowing them to share this moment with me, because they're great girls and they deserve the best, and I want to be able to give them the best. So it'll be very exciting and a humbling experience to be back on there and standing in the third base, coach's box as my coach coached me. So I think it hadn't hit me yet. Just put it like that. It hadn't hit me yet.
All right. Well, I'm sorry to bring it up so early, but I'm getting heat for asking about playing questions. I want to see the team in Florida. I'm sorry, y'all. Okay. Yes, we want to recruit, but I want to see the team in Florida. Okay. I can't get to Tallahassee every weekend.
What did they say?
No, just friends of the show giving me heat about it's not about me. I know it's not about me. It's about scheduling and getting recruits out. Thank you, y'all. Okay. Appreciate y'all. Anyway, Gail wanted to know, are you housed in Gaither or Lawson, Coach?
You're in Gaither.
All right,
downstairs
so there you go.
in Gaither. Yep.
All right, there you go. Okay.
Lou Bartley, technically.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
So y'all be specific. I don't know what y'all talking about.
Lou Bartley, Women's Complex.
Oh,
to be specific, yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Kelvin. Thank you. Okay, let's talk about this. Let's talk about these young ladies that did such a great job last season and are ready to kind of win the East for a third year and then do what we haven't done in a while. Give us some of the highlights on some of the key returners. Let's start with the pitchers, because we know we've got some all SWAC pitchers returning. So let's talk about the pitching staff first, Coach.
All right. So we got Zoriana Hughes. She's entering in her junior year. She won pitcher of the year her freshman year, and then I think she was the second team last season, and she also made the all tournament SWAC tournament team at the end of the season. And then we have Samantha Smith. She is coming back for her fifth year, and she also made the all SWAC tournament team. And then of course Amari Brown as well, same thing, all SWAC. So we also added two more arms. So we added a freshman, and then we also added a junior. So the freshman is coming out of Claremont from East Ridge High School. And then we have the junior from West Georgia transfer in. So like I said, I think experience-wise and matchup for matchup, I think we have the strongest pitching staff as a whole. I think last year the three of them really piggybacked off of each other, and they created a really good bond. It wasn't any selfishness because they knew they couldn't pitch. Everybody couldn't pitch every game. And so when we got to the SWAC tournament, it was just a lot of collaboration with them and just talking with them and understanding, what they wanted for their team, especially for when it came to the pitching staff. So adding in a freshman to kind of understand and learn the ropes and see, get the feels of what's expected, and obviously adding another experienced pitcher to the mix. So when the pitching staff, they've been working extremely hard in the bullpen, pitching and being prepared. And so I really feel really good about having that experience on the mound for this season.
Was there a different approach in terms of having those all SWAC performers, those young ladies who pitched multiple years in college and successful? How do you push them? What kind of things did you want to work with them during the fall season and coming into the season?
I don't know necessarily say we took a different approach. I think coming into this season, we had to, and my coaching staff and specifically, we had to kind of understand them. And now that we understand them, now we can kind of incorporate how we want to function as a team. And we challenge them all the time. And I know sometimes they kind of get a little, we're females, so we get a little dicey here and there, but we want to challenge them. We want to make practice hard. And I say hard, I'm meaning mentally, as far as understanding, where you need to go at this point. And sometimes that's where you see people shut down when you try to make them think a lot. But like I told them over and over and over again, practices are supposed to be this way. That means you're doing something right. And we scrimmaged last Saturday, and it was a specific play that we had been working on, in practice. And it didn't work. It did work. It didn't work and didn't work. And then when we were in the scrimmage game, it worked. And I told them that was the highlight of practice, or that was the highlight of scrimmage, to actually see you struggle and then see it come. And it just came so natural. So that was a great feeling for me as a coach, of understanding, like, we are not going to overly, press. Not, I say overly press, because we know we need to peak and sweat, obviously. But we also are going to challenge you. So we challenge Zoe, as the pitcher of the year. We challenge Amari. We challenge Sam. And that was something that we heavily talked about in our exit meetings when the girls went home for summer, is like, hey, we know how it felt. We actually watched that game the other day as a team. And it hurt me. It hurt me to the soul, because I hadn't watched that Jackson State game yet. And so we watched it together as a team. And, we just kind of collaborated on how that moment felt. But I also wanted to let the new, our transfers and our freshmen understand that, and understand that feeling, and that feeling of why, because you worked so hard, to get to that point. So just looking at the approach, now we understand. Now we have to try to figure out how can we get to that point again, but don't let up.
Okay. Good stuff. I still am. We're not going to bring up I saw on some other shows people being upset about some of the lack of selections for people like Amari Brown. That's all right. The SWAC will pay this year. I got a few. I'm going to ask that. Were any people, were there some girls who were a little unhappy and like using some of the, whether it be that game or whether the lack of recognition they should have got, anybody using that as particular motivation?
Absolutely. Okay. Absolutely. If you talk to these girls, I mean, just like any other collegiate athlete, I mean, I don't think any collegiate athlete would say, no. Like, I mean, let's just say, sometimes recognition is not always needed, but, that's what it comes in at the end. So you laugh now and, you laugh later, but.
Exactly. All right, let's talk about the infielders and the hitting. Some of the top performers, some of the names that many people will be familiar with from last year, and then some new exciting recruits that you have, Coach.
All right. So obviously Amari, she plays, she's a three-way. I say she's a hitter, she's a fielder, and she's a pitcher. So, she played a lot at short when she wasn't pitching, but then also Braxton Battle came in and played that role as well. And as a freshman, she did a great job of holding that down when Amari was on the mound. We also have a returning Anaya Canty. She played all her freshman and sophomore year, and she's hitting tremendously well right now. We also brought in another freshman that plays that same position, and she can hit the ball too. And, just seeing them kind of battle back and forth. I mean, we have another freshman that can kind of play third as well, but seeing all three of them kind of battle for that position. And I say battle, it's just more of competing. And I try to be as honest as I possibly can of, hey, it's going to boil down to this, and this, it's up to you if you want to make sure you want to achieve that. But just seeing them on the field on an everyday basis, and seeing Anaya Canty just lead by her experience. She's kind of more of the boisterous person in the infield. So if you ever hear her, she's sweet as we could be off the field. She's kind of low, but on the field, she's very, I guess you say her presence is very known. We lost Kiana Watson, great second baseman. She was kind of like the mother hen of the team, but I think having Monroe Oglesby, she is a junior coming in and filling that spot. And then we kind of moved some things around. We also have Braxton over there at second base as well. And then we also have another transfer that can play infield and outfield. And then Michaela Register, she's kind of holding down first base a little bit right now. Just again, more experience And we also have a few other underclassmen that are playing there as well. So, when it comes to the infield, we have a lot of knowledge. We also have, like I said, a lot of experience. And, I feel very confident if one go down, we have somebody else to go in that same position. So we've been working them hard. We also got a transfer from University of Pittsburgh, Amaya Pitt at short as well. So, we move some things around. I think the first part of the season, we're going to have a really good rotation through it. And so, like I said, just kind of solidifying, who we want in that everyday starting nine come SWAC. So everybody's going to get an opportunity, to showcase, whether that be in a bat or on the field. But I think, and I've been trying to hound it. Just be ready. When your number is called, be ready. Mm-hmm. You can't sit back in the back and talk and all that kind of stuff. You got to be knowing what's going on, because when your number is called, Coach Beall is looking.
Behind the plate, still have big hit Kaylee Spooner. Is she still going to be leading behind the plate?
Yeah, we got Lexi back there.
Okay.
She's smashing the ball. I think today her exit velo was, it was like in the 80s, 90s today. So she was smashing the ball today. But having her lead back there, we got two freshmen as well back there that we brought in, and then we have Tiana. She's a junior. So just having Alexi kind of lead and take those freshmen underneath her wing and just really trying to show them. And like I said, they're competitors. They're really competitors. But, Lexi's stick, it speaks for itself. And like she's seeing the ball really, really, really well. She came back. You can tell she did a lot of work over the summer of just being confident with her bat. And I think she's ready to kind of showcase, why she's back there and why she's a senior.
Beautiful. Just want to remind everybody, 9 days away. Love the countdowns too. We got a countdown every day. I think we started this week, if I'm not mistaken. And so
yes,
make sure you're following the softball page on Instagram and on Twitter. And we open the season against Howard, Blues Creek, North Carolina. That's the Campbell Invitational. Hopefully, I don't know, maybe we'll start sending messages. Hey, everybody in the chat, what I want you guys to do, send messages to Campbell Athletic and ask them, are they going to be streaming these games? I think if we all send enough messages, they'll get the hint that people will want to watch and they will stream it. I'm just throwing stuff out there.
The head coach, Emily Carasoni, she played at Auburn. So, and she's also from Pine Castle, from Orlando.
Oh,
so we have a little connection there. So she called me up about something today, and I said, well, we'll see you. My dad actually, he is her dad and my dad are pretty good friends, and I think my dad is going to come to the game and he's going to stay at her house. And I said, oh no, you can't be with the enemy. You can't be with the enemy. But I guess he got to lay his head somewhere.
That's it. We get a good night's sleep, eat some breakfast, but I'm gonna come root for you, baby girl. Yes, don't worry about it.
Don't talk about the game at all at the house.
Good stuff. All right, Kelvin, any last questions or anything you want to get in with Coach?
Yeah, I like the story. Coach talked about how her dad was an influence, being a daughter of a coach and the granddaughter of a coach. So share that with our audience, please.
Yeah, so I talked about this in the 220 Club today, just about how, just my life as a young athlete. I think I embarrassed my dad more than anything, because we had a little, church slow pitch little league, and I think I missed every ball that was thrown to me. I couldn't hit anything. So I think that was kind of like the turning point of me not embarrassing him anymore. So when I say I had it hard, I had it the old school way. My daddy didn't care about school. He didn't care about parties. He didn't care about going to a basketball game. It was all practice. So I took ground balls in the driveway. So these girls get to take ground balls on dirt and turf. And I took them on concrete in the driveway, So just to kind of see, and we coached together, obviously, at Eustis for a very long time. And we argued and we fuss and we fight about why you call that pitch or why you did this. But obviously, it was all out of love. But just having him, and he called me every day. How to practice go? One time he came up here and stayed a whole week over, I think, Christmas break. And I said, Dad, you got to go home. But he wants to be here in Tallahassee. He does. But just to be able to see him, and I think that's something that, with me and my brothers and even my dad, we try to give back to the community as much as we can. And my brother's back at home. He also does every year he does a backpack fundraiser type for the start of school. Mm-hmm. And, they help over, 500 families every single year. And so we give back to our community. And that's the reason why I went back home after college, is because I wanted to give back, to the community, something that I didn't have. If it wasn't for my dad, I wouldn't be, where I am today. And my grandfather actually coached. He had a slow pitch league. And if you ever want to stop by my office and see the photo, the black and white photo of my grandfather in that little hat. I don't know what kind of hats those they used to wear. The little, I don't even know, little stylish hats.
The newsboy caps.
Yes.
Okay.
So
yeah.
Just to kind of see that progression. And like I said, my dad had been coaching since he was 17 years old, and that's huge. So. I know some of the people at the 220 had came to some of the games and were able to meet him in person and just talk with him. So, because he can talk. He can talk.
I bet.
For sure.
I bet. Give him a shout out. So people, give him a shout out by name. So we make sure.
Oh my gosh. I don't know if he's listening, but I know a whole bunch of people from back home are listening. Robert Scott. That's his name, Robert Scott. So if you ever, he's the myth, the legend, and all of that. And like I said, if you've been so my dad was coaching travel ball for a very long time, and he knows all the college coaches, and just a great person, great man, very selfless. He's still coaching to this day, even though I've gone, away from Eustis. He's still there, and he's still helping out. So I appreciate him, and I don't think people understand the impact that he has made in so many people's lives. So I know I've helped over 50 people, go to the next level, but he's tripled that. And he started that team when I was in college. So, I appreciate him and the passion and the love for softball and the love for just helping others. He's hard though. He's hard, but he loves harder. So.
Shout out to Coach Scott out there watching, listening, anybody who's seeing it. We're so thankful that we have your daughter leading our program. All right, Coach Scott, we appreciate you. Thank you. All right, want to remind again, Rattler Nation, the season begins in 9 days. We take on Howard to open the season. You can contribute and help out the softball program any number of ways, but primarily through the foundation. The code is 0006, right? 0006
yes,
is when you go to the FAMU Foundation code, or better yet, you want to be a part of helping that nutrition table. Any and all contributions, go ahead and send them directly to Coach Beall. If you want to put in I'm not gonna get in trouble, hopefully, but any deliveries, send them directly to attention Coach Beall. Where specifically, Kelvin? Say again.
Lou Bartley
at Gaither Gymnasium, right? Something like that, right? Okay.
No, the women's complex called Lou Bartley Building. It's his own building.
Oh, okay. Excuse me. See, the
athletic office is right there too up top. Yeah. So if you send it to athletics,
it's gonna get somewhere.
Yeah.
Now it's food. Hopefully it won't go to nobody else.
That's why I said make sure it goes directly to FAMU softball or Coach Beall. Yes. Don't just say athletics, because that thing will end up in who knows where. But make sure you send it directly to Coach Beall and the softball complex. Coach, we're excited about a great season. It seems like the prognosticators are all out there. They got us lathered up. They're excited about FAMU softball. We are, and so we're looking forward to a great year. Any and every time we can get you on, Coach, we always appreciate you coming on the show. Okay.
Thank you. I appreciate
Have
that.
a great start to the season. Hello to all of our favorite team, one of our favorite teams, the softball team. Ladies, have a great start to your year. We look forward to seeing you.
48-0.
There it is. Call it. Speak it into existence. Let's run. Let's run
I'm going to pray about that tonight, too.
All right, Coach. Take care.
Thank you so much. You guys have a great
Coach.
You
too.
All right. Again, ladies and gentlemen, Coach Brittany Beall. All right, we're going to take a very short break and come back with the other half of our Diamond preview. We're going to talk to another championship winning coach. That's Coach Jamey Shouppe. And we got the baseball preview, FAMU baseball, another team that the prognosticators are really excited about. And I got a feeling Coach Shouppe is excited too. He's not going to I got a feeling he's not going to undersell this year.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to do that Lou Holtz on us this year.
We're not going to get the Lou Holtz this year. All right, we're excited about it. So Coach Shouppe coming up right after this very short break. You guys are watching the O&G Strike Zone right here on the Black College Sports Network. We'll be back in just a moment.
For over 30 years, HBCU Image has been more than just an apparel store. We've been a movement, a statement, a legacy. We celebrate the pride, the purpose, and the culture that make historically Black colleges and universities legendary. Whether you're a student or a lifelong supporter, our gear lets you wear your HBCU story with confidence and style. Because when you wear HBCU Image, you're not just wearing clothes. You're wearing culture. You're wearing pride. You're wearing purpose. HBCU Image, a Kenny T's company.
Thank you, Rattlers. Thank you. We're almost there. Restore the Strike campaign is 5 days away from being finished. You see where we are? Bragg Stadium. We're almost at the finish line, but we need you to cross it. Tell 5 friends about this. Get involved right now. Get all in on the Restore the Strike campaign. 250K is the goal. January 31st is the date. We need you, and we need 5 friends to get all in.
All right, welcome back to the O&G Strike Zone. Bryan and Kelvin here, and joining us now is our multi-conference national championship winning coach, the head ball coach himself, Coach Jamey Shouppe. Happy New Year, Coach. First time we've seen you in 2026. How you doing?
So I got a question. So the oldest guy on this panel, and you got me on at 8:30 at night. Beall, Coach Beall is what, 20 maybe? And she's on at 8, and I'm on at 8:30. So just start this off. We're gonna start this off. Yeah.
Blame him. Blame him right there. Blame that guy, Coach.
He did ask for an early time slot too.
I did. I did.
I like grumpy Coach Shouppe sometimes.
Hey, one of my good friends in coaching is Jose from Alabama State. And they always play like at 7 o'clock over there at night. That's 8 o'clock our time. I'm like, Jose, I may not make this whole game, man. Let's go. Get this thing started earlier.
See, we got you in hour 1 though, Coach. See, that was the key. We had to make sure we got you in hour 1 because we got, we didn't want to have you coming in hour 2.
There's an hour 2. Holy
Coach, there's an hour 3.
Hour 3 today.
Might be tonight. Hey,
yeah, good to be here, though, guys. I got to correct you on something you said, though. You said that I was downplaying our team last year. That's not what I said, if you recall. What I said was this last season would be an affirmation for us as coaching on whether our program works or not. Because we didn't have a lot of first-year guys playing. First-year guys in our program playing. They were just first time they were going to get the opportunity to play. They were kids that had been in our program and been through our system. And for coaches, it's good for us to see affirmation on whether our program is actually doing what it's supposed to be doing, and that's developing these kids. So I was shocked by last year, to be honest with you. I didn't know how good we'd be. I didn't know if we'd be. I told my wife I was hoping we'd make the tournament when the season started. And then Caleb Granger went down. And then you're saying, well, right at the beginning of conference play. And then you're really, he was a preseason All-American SWAC pitcher of the year. And you lose him. And then you had, Garrett Workman step in as our number 1. Jay Campbell, another freshman, hit third from day one and ended up pitching as our third starter as well. Both of those are first-team All-SWAC. Both of them are freshmen. Both of them are back, thankfully. So yeah, we're excited about this season. It's a good time to be a Rattler. I mean, it really is.
Yes,
With baseball, I think we're going to be all right.
It is.
Softball, I enjoyed listening to Coach Beall. She's such a sweet lady. You know, it's funny though. You hear people speak. I've never met her father, but I guarantee you, he's a great man because I know Brittany. She's such a good young lady and good coach and cares about her kids. So you can always tell what kind of parents people have 9 times out of 10 anyway. Basketball. How about basketball? I've been here, 13, 14 years at FAMU, and it's the best start in conference play for both the men and the women. You know, I'm glad to see that. It's a different vibe around campus because this thing is, I think, rolling a little bit. You know, it can be better. I mean, what I mean by better is, you know, we still do it sometimes with limited resources. And
that's right.
You know, hopefully some things are in place to change that. Excited about our new AD. Yeah, just a good time to be a Rattler, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes, indeed. All right. Let me see. Let me get Marcus in here because Marcus is able to get in early. So while I bring in Marcus, hey, Marcus, Coach, why don't we go ahead and start and talk a little bit about this schedule? And one of the things, if you don't mind me, if you don't allow me, I know we open up the season just to let people know it's at home. Valentine's weekend, February 13th is the home opener against Eastern Illinois. But one of the highlight games, which is already starting to get a lot of attention, Coach, is boom, the Andre Dawson Classic, where somehow we're facing our good old rivals from Bethune. How did that happen, Coach? How the heck did we get a contest against Bethune this early in the year?
Well, you know they're going to try to schedule a marquee game, and with the two programs playing for the championship in the SWAC last year, both of us have a lot of returning pieces from last season. It's smart on their part to advertise that game. I think it's a televised game as well. I think it's on Major League Baseball. I know Friday night's game against Alabama State is against my good buddy Jose. So yeah, it's good. It's good marketing on their part. We're excited. We start 2 weeks from Friday, which is, as you said, Valentine's weekend. What a great way to spend time with your loved one at the ballpark, huh? So we start Friday at 4:00, I think it is, the 13th, Friday the 13th. Ironically, that's the first week against Eastern Illinois. It's a 4-game match, 2-game doubleheader on Saturday, 2 70 games on Saturday. Eastern Illinois is a very good team. They've got a couple of guys in the big leagues right now. They're coached by Jason Anderson, who pitched in for the New York Yankees several years back. After that, we play University of North Florida, host them at home as well, and then we go on the road to Vero for the matchup against Alabama State on Friday night at 8, 7 o'clock. The game that you see that's up on the screen now against Bethune, 1 versus 2 from last season, both in the regular season and as the season ended in the conference championship. And then we play Sunday afternoon against Southern, I believe. Come home for 1 day, turn around and go to Mercer to play a doubleheader, then come back for another 4-game series. It's baseball. We play a lot of games, as you know. I tell people all the time that our kids go through the grind, and you have to be special, and they are special to keep the grades up and keep your eligibility. Not only keep your eligibility, but work toward that degree and excel in the classroom. Another 3.0 or better GPA for us this fall. We'll do the same thing in the spring, hopefully. It's a grind. I mean, I said this last time I was on the show. The average football game is 3 hours and 30 minutes. The average baseball game is 3 hours. Football plays 1 game a week. We play 5 games sometimes in a week. It's just a grind on these young men. So, but we're excited. I mean, today was our 12th practice. The NCAA gave us a little additional time, 2 additional weeks to get ready because of the weather and because we've had such inclement weather of late. It's kind of been beneficial because we didn't feel the stress of having to get a practice in even when the weather wasn't conducive for good baseball. So today was our 12th practice. We have 12 remaining before we start. So it's right around the corner now. We're starting to, you can tell by the guys, they're starting to move a little quicker. They're starting to really, the hitters are ready. The pitchers are starting to build up their innings. It's a fun time of year. We just need the weather to cooperate a little bit. That ain't happening this weekend. It's basketball weather this weekend.
Yeah,
no doubt.
Kelvin, I don't know. Let me get one more schedule related question, and I'll throw it over to you. I noticed 3 of our first 4 series are at home. Those weekend series, rather. And I know probably because we're where we are in Florida, we like that advantage, right?
Yeah, I mean, we were us and Bethune were the only 2 teams in the SWAC that practiced last weekend at all, simply because the weather was so bad everywhere else. But our administration does a good job of letting me pay for hotel rooms to have some of these northern teams come down and play. And obviously we go down to Andre Dawson. So all 3 weekends, the teams that are coming in, we paid, 18 hotel rooms per night for 3 nights for them to come down and play. It's a whole lot cheaper than us having to go on the road and play. We get good competition that way. We get to play, sleep in our own beds, because I just mentioned the length of the schedule, the games that we play, and the grind that baseball is. So it's good to get as many home games as you can. So fortunate that our administration lets us use the money to do that. It's not a whole lot of money, but it's a whole lot less than it would be if we had to go on the road and play. The Andre Dawson, they do give us they help us out with that in terms of money for travel and hotels and all. And the good thing about the Andre Dawson, it's named after Andre Dawson. And I say it every time, and I'll say it again. What I try to tell my kids is you're probably not going to ever be the player that Andre Dawson was, but try to emulate the type man he is, when you grow up. So just an outstanding person, and it's an honor for us to be able to play in a tournament named after such a great guy and a great rattler. So we're excited to be that second week in the season.
Well said. Go ahead, Kay.
As you said, Coach, you got a lot of returning pieces. We kind of know what to expect. I guess my first question is talk about your pitching staff, and is everybody be ready to go at the beginning, or are you going to ease some of the guys in, and what it's looking like with your pitching staff?
So Granger is back. He had Tommy, not Tommy John, but the secondary surgery for that, the internal bracing surgery. Had that during the season last year. Should be back to full speed. It's going to be a little. I mean, he's pitching now. He doesn't always feel like he did last year, I don't think, to begin with. But we're going to baby him a little bit. I was sitting at practice today. I was watching. I'm thinking, why is he going to start in the 3 of our first 4 weekends? I'm sorry, 2 of our first 3 weekends. We play a single game on Friday, a doubleheader on Saturday, which makes those games 7-inning games on Saturday. So I think I may just hold him off to pitch the second game to begin the season of each series, so that he's throwing the 7-inning games. If he gives us 5 innings and he's anywhere near what Caleb Granger's been for the last 2 years for us, that gives us a very good chance to win those games, and we only have to find 2 innings of relief. Because I'm going to baby his innings a little bit. He's not going to go out and throw 80, 90 pitches to start the season. Maybe not even to start conference play. What's that? The 5th week of the season. So we'll see how he progresses. Workman kind of filled that role as our number 1 last year as a freshman. He's in better shape. He looks better than he did last year. Been impressed by him. So it just hit me at practice day. I'm like, what are we doing? Plus, Granger gets to pitch the TV game against Bethune-Cookman on Saturday. And Bethune didn't see him last year as well. So he gets a little feel for their hitters on that, little cheat for the conference schedule coming up, 5 weeks into the season. So, I think that's what we're probably going to do. But the good news of that is he is back. He's throwing, and he's not as good as he's ever been, but he's getting better each and every outing. So we're the thing we can worry about is the soreness, the ability to come back. How he feels the next day after throwing. But he's felt pretty good throwing. A few mechanical things we got to straighten up on him a little bit, but he's Caleb Granger. He's a stud. So he understands that it don't matter right now, but what matters is the conference season. So. Already talked to him about what we discussed as well. Have not talked to Workman about that. But I don't think he cares. He's a left-hander. I can say that as a left-hander, so he don't care. But we got more depth pitching. As in most guys, we have 9 guys on our staff that throw 90 or above. That don't always mean they're going to be good pitchers, but I like the depth that we have. That's the most we've had since I've been here in terms of velo guys. Jose Campa is back. He was our second starter last year. We've got a new lefty in Carson Lindsay that's been throwing well. Got a freshman from Dominican Republic that I like, Ricardo Rollman. He's throwing well, left-hander, a workman type kid. You got Cody Williams back in relief, Tanner Walker back in relief. You got a sidearm. Last season was the only year I've been only season at FAMU in the 12, 13, whatever years I've been here that I haven't had a sidearm reliever. So I got my underneath sidearm right-hander. He's, Clark Lincoln. He's a transfer from a junior college. Excited about him. He's throwing well. I'm sure there's a lot of people I'm leaving out, but the staff's going to be good. And I think there's still the ability for some guys to surface as well. We got 2 SEC transfer by way of junior college. Deshaun Morgan, who's a hard throwing kid. Once he hones in on the strike zone and slows down, I told him he's got to learn to walk before he runs. He wants to get out there and run to begin with. Once he figures it out, there's something there. And Jackson McKenzie's going DH for us. He's a junior college transfer that came from Mississippi State. He's going DH for us, but it's a big league curveball. He'll throw in relief some, maybe use him as a situational guy to come in and get left-handers out. But it's a big-time breaking ball. We haven't, my staffs haven't had that many left-handers, and we've got 4 or 5 that I really like this year. So excited about the pitching staff. They got a great pitching coach in Jeremiah McCullum, my closer and off the 2019 championship team. I think it was MEAC at the time. So excited, man. And I love my coaching staff too. I've said that last year. I've had the same staff together for the last 3. This will be the 3rd year now. I mentioned Jam, my pitching coach. Also part of that 2019 team was Octavian Moyer. Moyer was a leadoff hitter, 5th in the country in hit by pitches, stellar second baseman, and is an outstanding coach. Works with Brett with the hitters. I mentioned Brett. Brett's been with me from the day I took the job at FAMU. Coached him in high school, although he looks twice as old as I do. But Brett's been my right hand man for many years, other than the time he went to take over the Alcorn State job.
Right.
Love my coaching staff. Lost Wilhelm Allen. He took the job back at Southern where he played. He and Jan were big time friends, and he, was our volunteer coach last year. Replaced him with a guy named Sam that was a sports psychologist at Florida State that also coaches some in the summer, former left-handed pitcher as well. He's helping Jan down on the bullpen with the pitcher, Sam Fonder. Sorry. So excited about the staff, excited about the season up and coming, and we can talk about offense whenever you guys are ready.
Well, before you get into offense, Coach, do you plan? I know Jay kind of pitched out of necessity because of injuries. Do you plan to pitch him this year? And if so, what how much you plan on pitching him?
That's a good question. I'm not sure yet. He's such a good competitor, and what do you want? He'll do exactly what you ask him to do. He's just that type kid. The guy can hit. I think I think he's a big hitter. I mean, you're stepping out of high school and hit 3rd in the lineup. What we consider a pretty good league. I think SWAC baseball is outstanding. From first day and out of high school till he leaves this program, you got a chance. And just an outstanding young man. He does exactly what you ask him for, asked to do. I mentioned Workman, who took over as our number 1 guy last year, was all SWAC. Local kid from Mike Posey's program at North Florida Christian. Robbie Zimmerman coached Jay Campbell at Leon, and Jay Campbell was a first team all SWAC. And there's some good local talent. I mean,
yes,
local coaches, local talent that gets developed by good local coaches, so it's those 2 kids. Jay Campbell will probably pitch, but I hope we don't need him, to be honest with you, because that gives him more chance. We're going to try to put him back at 3rd base some and see how he does in the infield, put him in the outfield some, because last year we had to DH him. I just think he's too good an athlete to have to waste on the DH position. So I'm excited about him. Yeah, pitching probably. He would have to start probably at least as a 3rd starter. You'd want to pitch him the last game of the series. So we'll probably start with that and just see how it goes and see how the guys develop. If you guys, like Ricardo Rollman that I mentioned, end up starting and developing early as a freshman, like Workman did last year as a freshman, then that gives you the insurance to put him in the outfield and pitch him if you need to. Because he pitched a little bit in the fall, Jay did last year, and then he wasn't pitching until Caleb went down. Then we got him ready to pitch, and he did a phenomenal job for us filling in as and gave us some links to our bullpen by letting him start. So right now, that's the plans, but we'll see how it goes as the season progresses.
All right.
Marcus, good to have you in there. Go ahead, get in there with a question or two for Coach.
All right. Good evening, Coach. I don't want to belabor you, and I'm not sure I came in late, so I'm not sure what questions were asked before.
I came in late too, Marcus. No doubt.
But I wanted to ask about this year's team, and I guess if you reflect on the 2025 spring, were there any areas that you felt could have been improved and you made improvements with the construction of this year's team?
Yeah, absolutely. The last pitch of the game was because a guy that was out there that shouldn't have been out there because we didn't have enough depth in our pitching staff to go get somebody else that was as good or better at that time. Tanner Walker was the guy that was in the bullpen that hindsight, again, it goes back to what I said. People ask me, if you had to do it over again, would you let him out there? I'm like, well, of course not. We lost the ball game. Wouldn't have left him out there to lose the ball game. Tanner had been injured. I don't think he had thrown but 2 or 3 times all year. He was dependable before that, but went down to an injury at the beginning of the season. We didn't have him much. And I just thought our best chance to win was not to throw out a guy out there that's not quite ready, although he's capable. So we saw that need. I saw that need, went out and made sure we had some pitching depth. And I love our pitching depth for this season. So I think we never worry too much about winning midweek games because we have the weekends, the SWAC weekends to worry about. And that's the only thing that positions yourself for the tournament so that if you win the tournament, you get to go to the postseason. The other stuff doesn't matter. But maybe we got a chance to win a few midweek games, I hope, this year because of the pitching depth. But that was our biggest need. We've gone out and got a couple of hitters as well that gives us a little pop when we lost Brody Popple, who was drafted in the 13th round by the Giants, and doing real well in professional ball, might I add, as well. So, we got some more pitching depth. And hopefully it'll be quality depth. We're still waiting on some guys to develop and pitch the way they're capable of pitching. And then a little more, hopefully some pop from the left side, a couple from the right side as well.
Okay. I guess as maybe a future looking question, and I don't know if Kelvin and Bryan brought it up earlier, but I noticed the old fax machine's been busy, or maybe at least the commit graphics have been busy in the last 7 days.
Yeah.
So about 6 players, 7 players, and it looks like a lot of them are from the Tampa area.
Obviously, I can't commit on that. I can comment on that. I can comment on the kids that we have signed. We've signed a kid named Zabala from Miami, middle infielder. I mean, if you're going to have a middle infielder, Zabala is a pretty good name to have. Very fast switch kid that I love. I coached his father at Florida State. I got a junior college shortstop that's at Andrew College right now that we've signed, and got a catcher. His brother plays with us, Nico Brown's brother, Nicholas Brown, a catcher from the Tampa area, and then Christian Sheffield, Gary Sheffield's youngest son. His middle son's playing at Florida State right now. So Christian's coming in as well, and we got a few commitments. We got some arms from the Tampa area that I love. We may have more than 7 commitments coming in. We had our little showcase camp, 2 weekends ago, and it blew up, man. There were a lot of kids in there. The best showcase we've had in terms of talent. Since then we signed a catcher, or going to sign a catcher, another catcher, 2 other catchers, about 4 or 5 arms, right-hander and left-hander that I absolutely love, high school kids too. So yeah, I'm excited about the class coming in next year. I think there are a lot of freshmen in that class, but a lot of freshmen that are Jay Campbell type, maybe to not that to that extent, but very good players, workman type players that can come in and step in and make it a contribution right away. Probably the best, without question, it'll be the best freshman class that since I've been at FAMU that we brought in. So excited about that. Yeah, maybe next time on the show, those kids will be delivered, signed. We can't comment on until they sign, and we can talk more specifically about who those kids are, and you can follow them a little closer. I guess if they're announcing, you can follow it now, and there's some studs in that group.
Yes, Coach, when you go off the air, I already got the slide deck ready with the names in the background. So, but I just noticed that in the last week, like almost one a day. I was like, goodness gracious, what is going on?
And kids are wanting to come here and play. That's the beauty of it. And again, that goes back to my staff. We treat kids the right way. We develop them as men first and foremost. We tell our guys all that helps you become a better baseball player. Hell, that helps you in everything in life to become better if you're a good man. And so kids see that. They see how we interact with them at camp. We treat them like we're going to treat them when they're here. I was listening to Coach Beall talk about demanding. Yeah, we're demanding. You're only demanding if you care. If you don't care about them, you could care less how they turn out. And you have to demand it, that they do certain things the right way so that they can be successful. But it's like, it's like discipline. You only discipline if you care. You only demand of somebody if you care. But it's demanded in the right way, in the sense that baseball's hard. We again, I've said that before. We realize how hard it is, and you coach accordingly. You just keep going over and over and over again. It's why they had the minor league system. It's why they have spring training. To try to get as many and you're still going to have errors, and you're still going to have mistakes, mental mistakes. But the kids realize that. I think they sense that when they come to our practice and meet our kids. We just have such a good group of young men.
Yes.
And it's fun to be around. It keeps me young, and Brett young too. And we have 2 young coaches in Jam and Octavian that take care of these guys and can relate to them a little better than we can. So we got a good mix on our coaching staff, and it helped us in the recruiting process as well.
Okay. Well, thank you, Coach.
Let's see, Coach, just a couple of quick questions that came before we talk about some of those hitters. Our good friend Jimmy Mack asked about who do we have replacing Jalen Niles at short, and then maybe if you can let folks know how Jalen Niles is recovering, because he did graduate in the spring, I believe.
He did.
And so just the last time you talked to him, maybe just let folks know how he has recovered or how he is doing last time you talked to him.
Yeah, he is fine. It was a devastating injury, obviously. Probably could play. It's gonna, it would take him a little while to get going again. I mean, if he were coming back this year, he'd probably be able to play at some point in the season. So it was a bad injury, obviously. And man, the whole team felt bad for him. It was kind of a motivation, unfortunately, for us to get to the championship game, or at least to beat Grambling, I think it was, who he went down the injury to Grambling, I think it was. So, yeah, especially to beat them in the next game, next time we played them. Not that there was anything malicious done in that injury.
Right.
Grambling had put our starting shortstop out, so we had to beat him to get back to the championship as well. Great young man. Nobody's going to replace him. Been with me 5 years. We butted heads sometimes with some of the best confrontations you can have as a player coach. But I love him dearly. I still remember when he was laying on the ground talking to him, and just the emotion that he had about this program and about his teammates and all. So he's going to be we're probably going to start by moving our third baseman from last year to shortstop, Matty Perez, and put Jay Campbell back at third to start with. We got some other guys competing for that as well. But right now it looks like Matty Perez is where we're leaning right now, and he'll have a chance to secure that position as well. Justin Lopez played there in the tournament. He'll play there some. Alessandra Vega is playing there as well. Some. He's done okay. So we'll start with Matty, and then we'll see where it ends up. But that's a hard place. Defensively, Jake he just secured us. He just was he threw him out there. You knew you had who your shortstop was going to be for, the last 4 years. It's going to be weird not to put his name in the lineup. So yeah, that's where we'll start with. And I miss him every day. Love that kid.
Okay, I understand that. Okay, as we look at our 2 years ago, I recall us being a heavy. I don't know. I guess you can say we could hit the long ball, for lack of a better word. Last year, a little different team. What's the mix? What is it? Talk us through some of the hitters and what this team is going to look like offensively.
Yeah, well, we're probably going to put Cruz into the leadoff spot, our center fielder. He led us in hitting last year. Phenomenal athlete. I think if he has a good season, I think he'll have a chance to play some, professionally and see how he does. I think he'll have a chance to be drafted. Probably the best athlete we have on the team. A lot like Popple last year, just a phenomenal athlete. Will Brown led off last year. hit 12 home runs last year, hit about 280, I think it was, with 12 home runs out of the leadoff spot. So we're going to shift him a little bit, either to probably the 2 spot, Will Brown, obviously our second baseman, to the 2 spot rather than against left-handed pitchers, and probably to the 5 spot against right-handed pitching, just to get a little more RBI down in the lineup rather than leading off with nobody on, or the bottom part of the lineup on. Put him in up in the lineup where some of these guys get on base and he's got a chance to drive them in. So contemplating that right now. We did that last year and it didn't work out. We ended with someone else leading off, and we ended up putting Will back in the leadoff spot. So that's what we're going to try initially anyway. We got our 3-hole hitter. We had him last year as a freshman, Campbell. He'll be in the 3 spot, whether he plays right field, third base, or DH. He'll be in our lineup as our third hitter from day one. Gonna look at Jackson McKenzie against right-handers in the 4 spot. He's the junior college kid that went to Gulf Coast State and played at Mississippi State as a freshman. Guy I said we'll also use for pitching has got a big league curveball. He's got some pop. He's a big kid and a left-handed hitter. Will Brown against right-handers in the 5th spot, as I said. We've got Parsick that redshirted last year. Adam Parsick, that redshirted last year, local product, junior college product. He'll be looked at as a DH from the right side. Potter, we got the big kid from California, Miles Potter, that's starting to swing the bat. He missed the fall with a messed up shoulder that he came in with. Had that surgery and is starting to swing a little bit better now. We'll look at him some and the DH position. Couple other left-handed hitters, Alex Monell, that swing it pretty well. Transfer from Flagler College, Caden Kresak, he swing it pretty well. Josue Figueroa is back at first base. To me, he's one of the best defensive first basemen in college baseball. Pretty good hitter for us. I think he hit 8 home runs last year. And then Miller was one of our top hitters last year to be behind the plate, the guy that backed up Popple. We're going to have to, he'll catch a lot. And Josue Figueroa will be a backup there. Trey Kraft didn't play much as a freshman. We'll get some chances behind the plate as well. There's a little thump there. There's some guys in the lineup that can bring a little thump. I mentioned, Perez. Perez has a little thump as well now. What position am I leaving out? I think that's about it. Oh, Jordan Brown's back in right field. Very good defender. He'll hit against right-handers right now. Against left-handers right now. Play right field. I'm sure I left somebody out. I always do. But off the top of my head, that's a lot of the kids you'll see in our lineup from day one. Should be a good lineup. A little more confident about the lineup going in. Hopefully some guys will surprise us and work their way in there as well.
Right. Kelvin, Marcus, you guys got any last questions there for Coach?
No, I'm excited. I'll be spending my Valentine's weekend with Coach. So
yeah, it's a cheap day, Kelvin.
That's a great promo, Coach. Spend Valentine's with Coach Shouppe and the baseball team. That should be the promo right there.
All
Spend
you
the Valentine's
come
weekend.
On out. Absolutely.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The opening series again, Rattler Nation. The opening series begins Friday, February 13th, and then the doubleheader on Valentine's Day, the 14th, home against Eastern Illinois University.
Hey,
and
that's when she really knows you love her, when you bring her to a doubleheader, not just one. Absolutely.
Hey, I hope I can stay with doubleheader. I don't know about the doubleheader.
Hey, me too, Kelvin.
Hey, get those reservations in and just go from the ballpark to the reservations. That's all I got to tell you. I can't say it's a pro tip because I'm not a pro, but Kelvin, you are a pro at that, so I know you'll figure it out.
Hey, get us a turf field too. That's in the work now, by the way, man. So yeah,
all right.
I hope so. Yeah, man,
yeah.
We got going a little further than before on that. So hopefully that works out as well. That would mean a lot to our program. Our facilities are
absolutely,
they're subpar for Division I baseball. So hopefully with the new AD, we can push that on through, and we're keeping our fingers crossed. So
yes,
no
indeed.
Doubt. No doubt.
Want to remind everybody after that head on down to Vero for the Andre Dawson Classic. As Coach said, Friday night, Alabama State. Saturday, Bethune-Cookman. Sunday, Southern. I mean, they just made this like a whole night SWAC mini tournament. And just to clarify, because somebody asked, these games do not count on the SWAC schedule.
Correct.
They
that
do not.
That has no bearing. It has no bearing on the seeding for the conference tournament. Correct.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And by the way, who is the one team we talked about this last week, fellas? Who's the one team that we don't play this year in the series? Because we play
winning Alcorn.
Yes, it was Alcorn. Alcorn is the one. This year we start the series against. We start the SWAC play against Southern, who we didn't play last year.
I thought we played Southern. We didn't play Southern last year.
We did not. We
played
as a conference team, right?
We played him in the tournament. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. All right.
No, we played him in the Andre Dawson, and then again in the tournament.
Yes,
because they blew us out. If you remember, they blew us out.
Yes,
in the tournament.
Yes, they did.
Yes, yeah. We got them back though.
When it counted.
When it counted. All right, so you guys make sure get your tickets for that. That's a beautiful ballpark. I remember I went a couple years ago with Jimmy Mack. Went down there with Jimmy Mack. That's a beautiful ballpark. Great facilities, great sight lines. So hopefully the weather will break, and we'll get some nice weather down there in Vero Beach. So make your plans, Rattler Nation. Baseball season is upon us.
Yep. Jackie Robinson Stadium.
Yes.
Andre Dawson Classic. What
wow.
Two great
Legends.
names, two great men. Yeah.
Legends.
Absolutely.
Legends. Coach Shouppe, we appreciate you staying up. Late night with Shouppe. We appreciate you hanging out with us.
Yeah. We'll schedule at 9:30 next week. I mean,
yeah. I have to get one of my younger coaches to do it. We go at 9:30 because I know Brett ain't gonna do it. So,
Coach, hey, have a great season as always. We appreciate you coming on.
Thank you guys for what you do for FAMU athletics as well, man. We appreciate it.
All right.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you, Coach. Be well. Have a great start to the year.
Appreciate that. Thank you.
All right. There it is. Wow. Coach Shouppe, man. Whoa, I'm ready for the softball and baseball season now.
Yes.
Aren't you? Are you ready? Are you ready for it?
As I got Troy always say, I don't bet eyebrows, but if I did, I'm ready to bet eyebrows and chest hair.
Look, I'd be willing to bet them on us getting back to some championship series and some games. I would, or winning some divisions. Well, they don't have divisions in baseball anymore. But we'll talk about. We'll tell Troy about those eyebrow bets. We'll talk. I know he's eager to throw some wagers out already from what I've seen on socials. I'm like, really, Troy?
Hey,
I'm like, we haven't got through January, and Troy's already tossing them out there like candy. Like,
yeah, man, I see him turning to tall with J Peeps. Those Tampa, Central Florida guys, they're excited.
Is everybody in? Or did you look back in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6? Looks like all have heeded the call. So you know what that means coming up on the other side of the break. It'll be time for the Avengers to assemble, and we're going to talk about this upcoming football schedule and the coaching staff announcements and all things related to making bold preseason predictions on January. What day is this? 28th.
Hey, even Gerald, he jumped out early, didn't he?
That's what I'm like. You know, folks are excited. Gerald jumping out making predictions. I'm like, what in the world? It's January 28th. That's all right, though. Y'all be excited. Be excited. I'm not doing it. But y'all be excited. I'll let y'all bet your chest hairs and all that other stuff. Not the kid. Can't do it. But all right. Coming up right after this break, let's get into that second half as we talk about the football and coaching hires and the schedule and all that fun stuff right on the other side. You're watching the ONG Strike Zone right here on the Black College Sports Network. We will be back in just a moment.
For over 30 years, HBCU Image has been more than just an apparel store. We've been a movement, a statement, a legacy. We celebrate the pride, the purpose, and the culture that make historically black colleges and universities legendary. Whether you're a student or a lifelong supporter, our gear lets you wear your HBCU story with confidence and style. Because when you wear HBCU Image, you're not just wearing clothes. You're wearing culture. You're wearing pride. You're wearing purpose. HBCU Image, a Kenny T's company.
From cancer care to accidental injuries to cardiac care, We all know that there are times that you can't control what happens in your life. But with Globe Life Family Heritage, you can be prepared to weather the storm when it comes. Call Dr. Beverly Eagle Rogers at 877-300-8269 or visit the website at globelifefamilyheritage.com. With over 25 years of serving communities, Dr. Beverly Eagles Rogers is here to help you and your family through difficult times. Dr. Beverly takes pride in Globe Life being one of the few companies that returns 100% of premiums to clients that stay healthy. So for more information, call Dr. Beverly Eagle Rogers at 877-300-8269 or visit the website at globelifefamilyheritage.com.
Are you hungry for authentic Caribbean food like jerk chicken, oxtail, red snapper, shrimp, tofu, and rasta pasta? Well, find your way over to Mango's Caribbean Restaurant, 180 Auburn Avenue, right next to Royal Peacock in downtown Atlanta.
Them belly full, but we hungry.
Mango's Caribbean Restaurant, open daily from 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. And on Friday and Saturday, we're open till 4 a.m.
Come to Mango's and put some spice in your life.
So we've got a good thing going.
Mango's Caribbean Restaurant, 180 Auburn Avenue, right next to Royal Peacock
in downtown Atlanta.
For more info or directions, call 404-698-3992
or log on to mangoscaribbeanrestaurant.com.
For instant coupons, text MANGOS to 313131.
Tell your mama hungry, papa hungry, brother hungry.
Mango's Caribbean Restaurant,
authentic Caribbean cuisine.
Open up the door, tell them mama hungry.
It's the 37th Annual Zora Festival. It's in Edenville, Florida, Saturday, January 31st and February the 1st. On Saturday, the all-white party tribute to Frankie Beverly with bass guitarist Shouppe. Bread, Sunset, and Taisha Williams. And on Sunday, the Line Dance Party Live with Jeter Jones, Mike Clark Jr., and Boss Lady Coco. Tickets available at zorafestival.org.
You're looking for the latest information on Southern University sports, the Southwestern Athletic Conference, and HBCU athletics. There's only one place to go. Tune in to the Carlos Brown Show, exclusively on the Black College Sports Network.
Thank you, Rattlers. Thank you. We're almost there. Restore the Strike campaign is 5 days away from being finished. You see where we are? Bragg Stadium. We're almost at the finish line, but we need you to cross it. Tell 5 friends about this. Get involved right now. Get all in on the Restore the Strike campaign. $250K is the goal. January 31st is the date. We need you, and we need 5 friends to get all in.
All right. Welcome back to the ONG Strike Zone. Bryan, Kelvin, Marcus, joined by. Do I have everybody? Do I really have everybody? Let me make sure I got everybody. I do. There he is. Top left corner, Keith Hadley, Things Up Podcast. Top right corner, Ashley from Thing Exchange. Middle left, our favorite HBCU uncle, Mr. Campbell. On the right side in the middle, always willing to give up an eyebrow when called upon, the brother Troy. Bottom left, J Peaks Penalty Talk. And bottom right, the other half of Fang Exchange, Tasha. How's everybody doing, Roberts? What's good?
All is well.
It's going good.
What up? It's going great.
Man, y'all don't want no rational fans. Let's get to it.
I'm all right. I'd be a lot better when we start beating some Wildcats again. I'm sick of losing them. Facts.
Right. You know, thankfully, that day hopefully is coming soon. It's coming soon. All right, Rattlers. Well, as you see on our graphic, I had to put some work in here. Our 2026 schedule has been released. And so we will get into not only talking about the schedule, but Hold on, let me see. Am I missing somebody? Am I missing? Oh, wait a minute. I'm missing Gerald. Wait a minute. Where is Gerald?
Can you put 10 in?
Yeah, I was gonna say, can you? I've never seen it done before.
Interesting.
Yeah, I gotta. I don't know to figure out. I'm gonna figure out how to do that. I know Gerald is there. All right, I'm gonna have to figure this out. I don't really know how to do this with 10. All right, this is gonna totally. I may have to just completely do away with everything here. No, I think I'm capped at 9. I
think so.
All right. Do I have 10? I'm told I have access to 10. All right, I'm gonna have to try to figure this out in another means. While I'm doing that, while I'm trying to figure this out, let's talk about the coaching hires here. First on the docket as I try to figure this out, fellas. Kelvin, start us off here while I work in the background since I'm gonna play producer. Maybe I will go away and maybe that'll allow Gerald to pop in and then I will play producer. So I think that's what'll have to happen. I think I'm gonna have to go away. Kelvin, you're gonna have to run point on this, and then I'm gonna have to be the producer. That's the only way I can think of to get a nice.
Look at his comment.
All right. Let's do this.
Bryan, you almost made it to the cool kids. Look like you gotta let the.
That's fine.
It's because he left his earring off today, and he was acting like he don't know how to pull no women. That's what it is.
Off is what I'm about to do.
Hey, all right. I gave Bryan the wrong number though. I thought with Gerald it was only 9, so he wasn't prepared. So I'll take the arrow for that one because we actually had another 10 without Gerald that we had to. Because we was gonna bring Vaughn on too, but we started counting it up, saying no, we can't bring everybody on.
All right, so I'm gonna see if I can work in the background and figure out how to reshuffle the layouts a little bit. But while we're doing that, I'm gonna drop out. Gerald is gonna come in, and Kelvin, you can get the discussion going with the coaching, and I'll try to work some magic in the background. All right.
All right. So part of the reason why we assembled the event, the FAMU Avengers, was and we waited to this show to combine everything because we was hoping we'd have more than one announcement, and we kind of got that right. There was a third announcement with the season tickets we was hoping would come too. That one didn't come, but but Coach was able to on Sunday release his staff, and I think everybody's name except one, as far as his on the field coaching staff as well as some of the support staff. And then we also got the schedule drop the next day. So we're going to start with the staff first. And I'm going to let ladies first, right? So I'm going to let Tashay start off and just give me your overall opinion of, the staff that Coach Gray announced.
Yeah, so I thought that I liked the staff that he put together. I kind of expected, I think we have 2 staff members from Albany State. Who is it? Chris Cash and what's the O-line coach? The offensive coordinator. I can't think of his name. Shouppe, right? Yeah. So I thought I actually expected to see a few more coaches from Albany State. I thought we would have a few more. I'm okay with the coaching staff that he is, but I thought it was great. I'm really happy that we were able to get the DC. What's his name? Ryan. Yeah, I've always been a fan of Alabama State's defense, so I thought that he did a really good job. Hats off to the AD Sora Marva, for getting that assistant coaching pool together so that he could get, assemble a really good staff. I'm impressed. I think that they're going to put something together special. So yeah, that's my opinion without taking up everybody else's. It's a lot of talking left to be had, so I'm gonna just leave it at that.
All right, I'm gonna let you answer this, and then I'm gonna jump to Ash as soon as you answer it. But you gave your opinion of the staff and a little rundown. What is the most important hire you thought that he made?
I thought about this question. I think I gotta say 2. So I like the DC I think that's but I also like the offensive coordinator Shouppe because even though we did a little better with the run game last year, I know that he is going to really, 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 hone in on that run game. And I think that, with the backs that we have, I think those are the two best hires for me, Shouppe and Ryan, for those reasons.
Okay, go ahead, Ash.
So I like the hires as well across the board. I agree with Tashay. I did think I would see more Albany State. I'm trying not to say Alabama State. That's kind of hard to not say the other one, but I thought I would see more Albany State infiltrated into the Rattler culture and nation over here. But again, just like it was said, I'm 100% okay with what we did get. I love I think the DC is going to be the star of the coaching mix. One thing that I really, really like is the pro pedigree that's in this, that's kind of sprinkled in this staff. It's not necessarily that, everybody's a pro. It's not necessarily that everybody even plays. Some of them played, some of them coached at a pro level or were just in the room of the pro levels, and then others did play, including the head coach. So I love the pro level that you can kind of pass down all these. We know all these athletes have those aspirations. So that's always key to me. Player personnel, just all the things. I'm really excited about the staff that I see, and I can sometimes you look at staff members and individuals that are put together, and how can you imagine them meshing together? And I can just imagine this crew coming together for one common goal and just being one band, one sound. So I'm excited about the staff for sure.
Okay, Mr. Producer, Bryan, if you have the list of the coaches and their positions that they're coaching, and you can put that up, go ahead and put that up. And while he's doing that, I'm gonna go to Mr. Campbell, get his thoughts on this staff and the most important hire.
Well, I'm gonna say this first of all. I want everybody just to listen real quick, just for a few seconds. Can you believe there's no FAMU foolishness for 28 days? Can you believe that? All is quiet in social media. I don't know if Scotty, my boy, went down and took it all with him. But can y'all believe we don't want to? Have you ever seen those signs, like when you go into a warehouse or a restaurant and it say 100 days with no accident? We need to have it.
Tashay, do you have your water? Do you have your water? I feel like it's coming. The water's coming.
It's been 28 days.
God, I haven't seen that.
I had to go live or off script. I had to find out who people are. So I just had to start with that. I just had to start with that. And
don't jinx us. Exactly.
My biggest thing is, and Kelvin, we've done this show, and my thing is defense wins championships.
Absolutely.
And like I said, we'll go around, but I'm gonna say defense. Because when you sit up here and you got, of course, Ryan Lewis, you got Chris Cash, that was DC. Hey, DeHaan Mixon, that young man is going to be something great. And please do not sleep. Larry Williams is a DC guy, you know what I'm saying? But even though he's a director of player person that's going to dominate, anytime you got Uncle Luke saying, boy, y'all in trouble down there, I'm just really excited about the defense. Because, of course, we got an offensive coach. But, again, I just don't want to see 40 points ever again.
Ever.
In Bryan on the defense. So I'm just, this crew right here, and I'll say my one last thing, is that, and I think, and even with Bryan, we were talking about this team is going to tackle. Because one thing about those Alabama State teams, those boys tackled.
Yes.
They hit.
Yeah.
So we're going to go back, because what you're going to see is coaching and teaching of fundamentals. So you're not going to see a guy like, oh, wait a minute, why you did tackle? Now you gone 40 yards and stuff like that. So that's what I'm super excited. Excited.
Yes.
Kenwick Thompson is from last year's coaching staff. We've moved on.
Right.
I'm not sure.
I'm not sure about that either.
Okay. So Troy.
Oh, we did get 10.
Oh, you figured it out.
He figured it out.
Took a little work. But I had to do what I needed to do in the background. There you go.
He's a genius.
Nice.
All right, Mr. Eyebrow. What you got?
So I kind of agree with Mr. Campbell.
Is that the OJ glove?
On the defense. But
you gonna do some guarding?
I'm old
that's the
school.
OJ glow. We're gonna be killing them this year. What you mean?
I'm old school. I know the defensive staff we got. We need to get back to bombs over Baghdad. We need to get back to we got more talent than you. Let's go deep. So I'm excited about the offensive staff, specifically Mr. Gray. So I'm excited about the offensive staff.
Okay. All right. J Peeps, what you got?
So for me, I'm excited overall just about the amount of Florida ties that are on this staff. You know, I look at, Larry Williams, like y'all were saying, Uncle Luke was, showing love to him, comes over from Florida. Ryan Lewis, another Florida guy. He, funny enough, if I'm not mistaken, Quinn Gray coached in that Florida Classic that Ryan Lewis played in 2010 when Bethune was undefeated. And then, you got Ron Dugans, who was, again, I always say, he was Robin to Peter Warwick's Batman. Mm-hmm. And then, of course, to, Casey Warming, master recruiter, brought back from the previous staff. Orlando McKinley worked with Willie Simmons, worked with the previous staff, and now he's back with Quinn again. And then, of course, Billy Roll, who, guys like Ryan Stanley, Marcus Williams, Bishop all spoke very highly of. So it's just like so many, key pieces that are Florida ties that know how to tap into the counties in this state and can go get kids and are names that kids look at and say, you know what, I want to go play for that guy. Because, when he comes to my school, like, I get wide-eyed to see a Ron Dugans or a Quinn Gray or someone like that, just like I get wide-eyed to see somebody at a Power 5 school. So, that says a lot. And, I see why, so many guys decided to withdraw from the portal and come back and join us. So, I'm excited overall, just, the Florida ties, the emphasis on details. And like you said, those Alabama State defenses, they tackled well. So we're going to see a greater effort in tackling. We're going to see more aggressiveness and more viciousness, which is something that definitely lacked last season.
All right, Keith.
Y'all know I don't like to be like everybody else. I love the Reed Sanders hire. Partially because, one, nobody else really said it, but also because I love the fact that Quinn Gray gets to be the head coach and he gets to be the figurehead. He gets to be the CEO. He also gets to be the celebrity coach. I mean, we've heard how many times, I've seen Troy about crash out over folks talking about hire Ed Reed. I don't need no Ed Reed. I got Quinn Gray. Like, I have Quinn Gray. And Quinn Gray moves the needle at a place like FAMU the way that an Ed Reed can't. He can go into the rooms of the Rattlers, not just the rooms of the outside people and other things like that. Where you're talking about the win with Quinn thing and you're approaching the financial goal, though that kind of matters. And when you have the coach that can come out there and not have to focus on being the head coach, the quarterback coach, the offensive coordinator, and the CEO and recruiting, I think that's just a testament to the vision of one, the coach, the vision of the staff, the athletic director, and those who are supporting athletics. So I'm going to say Reed Sanders partial to be different, but Casey Warman was huge for me. I love that he's back as a full-time tight end coach. I think he's done great things. Yeah. I think he's paid dividends just in recruiting. Like somebody already talked about it, but he was big. And as much as, some folks may not think I do, I actually like the Ron Dugans hire as well, because he is a guy with FAMU ties. Yes, he played at Florida State, but he went to FAMU DRS. So that matters. And that matters in a way where you have multiple coaches on this staff who've either played in Tallahassee or coached in Tallahassee. And that matters when we're talking about recruiting, because there's no reason on this side of heaven that Mississippi Valley State should ever cross the border or the line of the state of Florida and walk out with 4 and 5 recruits and take them back to the state of Mississippi and then turn around and beat us with those same kids.
Amen to that. Gerald, what you got?
Yeah, Keith actually took something I was going to say. I was about to mention just the local ties with Casey Warman being the recruiting coordinator. Tallahassee guy, played at Lincoln. Ron Dugans, of course. I know a lot of people are hype about that hire with him being at Florida State. And then Coach Gray, he was pretty open about it. At the press conference, he said we can't have Mississippi Valley coming in here and taking our players, and And I mean, that showed last game of the season. Jamari Stokes, 3 interceptions, played at Gaston County. You know, how does he get to Valley? Valley got to come get him. So those local ties, I feel like it checked all the boxes. It got the professional, the professional players. It got the defense. I'm excited about how that defense is gonna look, especially with Ryan Lewis, one of the top FCS coordinators.
Mm-hmm.
And Chris Cash, he used to play for my team, the Falcons, a long time ago. I was a kid back then, but
our team.
Yeah, but many people, but I don't know if many people realize that Albany State was the number 1 total defense in D2 last year. So you got Cash and you got Lewis, who was leading on Alabama State defense is the number 1 and top 5 finishing in the FCS. I'm ready to see what that defense looking like. I think the dark clouds, that's the formula for the dark clouds to come back, because it's been it's been pretty sunny around here the last couple of years.
Sunny tonight. Marcus, talk to us.
I guess the first thing, I guess other people already mentioned it, but looking at the staff hire overall, you know, we have 4 coaches, one of whom was returning from last year, our last 2 years, Andre Pope, but 4 coaches off the Alabama State defense that was pretty much in the top 5 in FCS the last 2 or 3 years. So that's going to be a big improvement. I've already started my season review in preparation for our season preview, you know, for 2026. And just looking at the NCAA stats, I mean, we fell off a cliff last year, even compared year over year to 2024, when we thought things weren't quite good enough. So that's going to be an improvement. The other thing is looking at how the duties are split up as it relates to recruiting. So we have Casey Warren doing the portal and the JUCO. We have Coach Roll with high school relations. So, you know, he's got fingers all across the state and maybe across the state line. And we have David Eggleston as a graduate assistant recruiting. And everyone else is going to bring their footprint of where they've been and relationships that they've built in South Georgia and other places to help build up the talent on the roster. And we're already seeing in the class of 2027 offers, a lot of whom are down there in South Florida. The other thing is that in terms of hitting the ground running, just having some coaches that Coach Gray has worked with before, in terms of a couple that came from Albany State, so we can implement the program and some of the schemes, and having some players who are in those schemes as well. So there won't be much of a learning curve. So I'm excited about that. I'm interested to see how things work out with the QB coach, because last week I did get a chance to see the interview with Coach Gray, and he mentioned that he wanted to bring someone along who eventually he'll start off kind of immersing himself a little bit in the offensive play call, but someone he's confident can take over, so he won't have to manage that. So I want to see how that translates as it relates to not only the quarterback, Isaiah Knowles, a transfer from Albany State, but also some of the younger quarterbacks that have committed to FAMU, see how those things turns out. But first and foremost, the defensive line coach and all the defensive coaches, I think, are going to be paramount. It was like Tashay said, we did see a turnaround in the offense and a spark in it last year, but the defense just was, I mean, total defense, we were probably in the bottom 5 in FCS, if I remember the numbers correctly, and that's unacceptable.
All right, I'm gonna go, Bryan, and then I'm gonna let you go last, so you can take back over the hosting. My comment is one, that I really like the fact that these coaches are experienced, successful experience. I think it matters. Man, on this show, if you watch, I said the thing with Coach Curry. I've said the same thing with Coach Beall when she came. Winners win. And so when you bring folks who used to winning and winning at a high level, and they've had the position as coordinators or head coaches, and they've been successful, I just think that translates, number one. Number two, these guys have names within the coaching field, but it's also some of the ones who, you know, played pro or coach pro. So those guys in the portal, they know what they were coached and how they were coached last year, and the names there, and they looking at, and some of those guys were like I agree with the tight end coach. I thought he was a good person to keep on, and we were able to keep him. But you know, these guys know and their coaches and the people they respect, they know who these guys are too, who come to coach them now. So when we go out to recruit or when we talk about player development, there's no question. You don't see any of our adversaries at other programs saying a word. It's quiet as all get out.
Quiet.
Because everybody understands what we're putting together. We putting together something that could be a monster, could be a dynasty. So, in terms of my favorite, given how the last couple of years went, I'm with you all. I think the big hire for me right now, even though it ain't my favorite hire, my favorite hire is a favorite for personal reasons. But the defense coordinator, Ryan, I think was huge, and he had options, right? I'm just glad that Coach Gray is the type and these hires say a lot about Quinn too. The fact that these caliber men would come and work under his leadership, and they're good people. They're really good people. I know a lot of these coaches. And they're good men and good leaders for our players also. So I'm just totally ecstatic by this staff, and I can't wait to see Troy in the fall. I think he's gonna keep most of his hair this time. You can go ahead, Brian.
That'll be a good thing, right? I'm like gonna make sure everybody's all right. Some of y'all, somebody might have some ghetto bird might be hovering around somebody's neighborhood. Make sure they're all right. Make sure everything's all right. Video or something. I know what that sounds like because I had that thing hovering around my neighborhood about 6 o'clock in the morning the other day, and I was like, "What in the hell's going on outside?" I said,
Brian, if that's ice, bro. That's ice in Atlanta.
I was about to say 6 o'clock in the morning. That's ice to me. That's 3 o'clock in the afternoon at the work. You better stay in your classroom for a few minutes.
Oh, God.
Yak.
What's that, Chugger Hall?
Chugger Hall wasn't that bad.
All right.
Jesus.
I guess, for just kind of going through, I want to run. Let me see if I can again pull up the list. Let me figure out how to get that screen again. Okay, here we go. All right. So on the coordinators, again, there you see the coordinators, the defensive coordinator, Ryan Lewis Sr., the co-offensive coordinator / offensive line coach, Nick Suick, and Elijah Haggard, the special teams coach. I saw somebody being very ecstatic about the fact that we may not see those funky pump formations again. So I know folks were excited about that.
I've seen what God's done for others. I'm just saying.
The defensive assistants, of course, Chris Cash over safeties and nickels. Let's see. Andre Pope, who I believe Andre is a returner, correct?
Yes.
He's one of the returning coaches, cornerbacks coach. And the defensive ends, Vaughn Mixon. Does anybody find it interesting the level of detail in having a safeties coach, a cornerbacks coach?
No, Brian, stop being nice. That secondary was buns. I'm gonna say it nice, like the children would say.
I'm gonna let you say it. I'm just asking the question. Let you say what you need to say.
That secondary was buns.
Wait, so Brian, restate your question again. You said the significance of the difference.
I was asking I know, obviously. I'm just asking the question: do we find it interesting the fact that now? And I don't recall this from last year that we have someone over safeties, nickels, and cornerbacks. Obviously, they're all different positions.
Recently, either under Coach either Colsey or
Smith
last year. He had a last year Coach.
I think it's good. Trust me.
I love it.
It's great.
it's good for the details because I mean, like as much as we say, because I mean we are approaching like the Senior Bowl and the draft and all that and everything. Like if you can play one, you should be able to play all the others. But I mean, if you specialize in one particular type of like position, like if you're a safety, you have to be better at form tackling in open space, much more than a corner. And as a corner, if you're out there, you have to know how to be able to turn a play back inside towards your defensive end, the nickel back. If you're a nickel, you're basically blitzing off that nickel position. So they all basically present certain types of traits, I want to say. But again, a DB should be able to play all of them.
Okay.
Hey Brian, can I let me
go ahead.
I think that's a great question. And I think the question Tasha answered, but I want to expound on why this is important. There's a reason why that $1.2 million salary coaching group money is important for a situation like this. Because while you can have guys basically their name next to position, you got guys that are actually worth the price of that position now. So when you going out there, like I say, give credit. Hey, we didn't have AD. Shout out to Angela Suggs. Shout out to Marvin Johnson. Say, you know what? We hear you. And we've got to make sure, because what did we hear from previous? We don't have this. We don't have that. Well, guess what? We got this and we got that. And when you got $1.2 million, you can go tell a guy, hey, I want you to specifically be, instead of going to D2 and being the defensive coordinator, you can come be our safeties coach. You can come be our nickels coach. You could be at FAMU and build from there. And that's why I think this money, and I'm going to keep saying it, that 1.2, when I got caught wind of that, we was dealing in, because goes back to the thing with Ryan Lewis. Ryan Lewis don't come to FAMU unless we say, they give you what? We got this. And you can't have this if you didn't have the $1.2 million. So to your point, I think that's what the importance of is, not so much as guys can play different positions, is that you're going to make sure that guys know how to play the position that they're assigned to first. Okay? So that's why I wanted to really point that out, why that's so important.
And that money matters when you're also speaking of like having people who've been successful in different places. Like, I'm not trying to be a homer, but as much as grief is, we definitely give AD Davis for his lack of experience as the athletic director. He's been successful in business. I mean, I'm not trying to say that because he's frat, not saying that because of church, but you go back and follow his background. If you can go back and catch it. We had him on the show with St. Clair Moraine last week, and I went back and I was like, the dude's won national championships as a player. He's ran, he has business acumen. And if he can bring that business acumen to FAMU, that's going to be a net gain. Now, is it guaranteed? No. But is it something to where you have somebody who can give us a freaking vision? That's huge, because honestly, when was the last time FAMU's had an AD with a financial vision that was allowed to do it? I think AD Suggs had a financial vision. I don't think she was given the time to really lock it in step. But I would damn near say Milton Overton is probably the last person that we saw had a real financial vision and, that didn't just throw money in the building fund. And I'm sorry, I love the Rattler Athletic Fund as much as the next person, but it ain't doing SHI to the T a lot of times from our perspective when it comes to changing doorknobs and us seeing this tangible stuff. And so it's got to get to a place where if we're going to have these people bringing in these kind of funds, they got to give us something on the field. Coach talked about putting up lights and putting up some of these stuff. You just heard Coach Shouppe say, we're getting a turf field. I don't know how many times I've been to FAMU baseball games and the baseball coaches are dragging the field. That's high school stuff. That's flat out BS. And so to have somebody with some vision that can hopefully deliver, it matters. I'm cheering for you, Phi. It's not just because you frat, because it's really about FAMU of all that stuff. But we need somebody who's going to deliver and who's going to bring some of that stuff home. And like you said, Mr. Campbell, having that kind of budget gives us a difference and give us an edge. And, when you have ADs who have the mindset of saying, hey, we need to bring in the Fang Exchange, I think he's the first person to really embrace it. Like, we need this type of leadership. Hopefully we can keep this going.
It's definitely because he's frat. Because Bryan asked, why do we have a Nichols and a DB coach? Because how did we get to that, Keith? You just wanted to shout out your friends. Okay?
I didn't know that was Mr. Campbell. That was Mr. Campbell. Mr. Campbell started that. Mr. Campbell started that, dog.
Listen, I'm gonna let you have that. Thank you.
Boy, she shot one over about here.
And you went on your Cap outside soliloquy. Boy, now I'm gonna say this. Now we wish him well, but he didn't have nothing to do with that 1.2. Already came, bro.
He was nowhere near around.
J5, man.
That man was nowhere around.
Come on, man.
It's always J5.
Now, I'm gonna tell you this. Now,
He gonna take credit like another AD.
When that 10G clear, then you can say, now I heard it's coming. Now when that 10G clear, now you come back on here and do that. That's what we gonna get. But that 1.2, I'm gonna give it to Tasha. That was a Delta AK connection. We gonna do D9, okay?
Let me
we don't want y'all back.
Thank you. That's all right though. I feel refreshed now after my sip of tea. Let me move to the offense here, just in case people want to see again. The offensive assistants, the wide receiver coach is Ron Dugans. As mentioned, also formerly on the last staff, the recruiting coordinator / tight ends coach, Casey Warming. And we've already mentioned Nick as well, but he'll also be serving as the offensive line coach. Then you've got the director of football operations is Larry Williams. / chief of staff, director of football ops / chief of staff is Larry Williams, and Billy Roll returns back to the program as the player personnel / high school relations coach, and then the support staff Orlando McKinley, who will work as an assistant on special teams, and a defensive backs coach, Mikey Victor, defensive quality control / Nichols coach, and Brendan Deanda, an offensive assistant as well.
Now, Brian, one thing I want to say. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Kelvin.
Yeah, I just want to say real quick, the Billy Roll and Larry Williams, Rattlers, both have worked as coaches and GAs at the university also. Both are legends in their own way, but Billy is of course, a championship caliber legend. Larry, I believe, was on the Gator staff last year.
Yep.
In some capacity, but he's really connected throughout the state. Billy is, Quinn is from the South Florida area too. Ryan is from the South Florida area. I really feel like, and Quinn mentioned it, we're gonna probably lock down some top-notch talent throughout this state and South Georgia, since Quinn was in that area. The profile of this staff is built to do just that.
Mm-hmm.
The players we want that ain't going, Power 4, we'll have a great opportunity to get those players. And if this running back thing is announced and don't change, that's just going to add to that.
Mm-hmm. And what I was going to add was that the staff that's been assembled, and I know we'll be looking a couple years down the road, but if you think when Coach Simmons was here, that there are a lot of assistants who went on and got promoted either in the pros or other college programs, either lateral moves in FCS or FBS. And I could see Coach Gray, by the way he's assembled this staff, if he's having that in mind, because you want to have a place, a coaching staff, but not only a place of work where you can feel like you can get promoted. And I think that he's setting us up for that. Not that we want anyone to leave, but you look at the acumen of the staff, the relative youth of the staff, and the expertise that they bring. It's only a feather in our cap to say that you can get promoted from here and go to the next level, and then bring in another talented young coach or talented coach to come in and backfill that position. The other thing, I guess, to Kelvin I mentioned, and I know I don't think I mentioned this on air, but I sent something in a separate chat, like you mentioned, South Georgia. And I didn't realize until 2 weeks ago, I didn't know the landscape, even though I'm from Georgia, from Atlanta, but I didn't realize how close some of those counties with South Georgia counties are to the state line that have championship level programs in terms of Thomas County, Brooks County, I think it's Colquitt County, and there's another one I can't remember, but it's like Lowndes.
Yeah, Lowndes.
I mean, they're like literally right there. And I asked y'all, Kelvin and Bryan, I was like, how do we not get top players or even some of the other players that don't make it the G5? How did they not end up in Tallahassee with that proximity? So I think Quinn and everyone else being there will address that.
Also the transfer portal too. Like you can't discount, like, let's be honest, the University of Miami has had a pipeline to Valdosta for a little while. Like I don't, not to mention the Ibis, or I cannot stand that darn Ibis, but they've had a pipeline to those schools. So those kids are skipping over Tallahassee all in general. They're not going to Florida State or FAMU. They're going as far south as possible.
The GM position that was previously mentioned, and I appreciate Via Matt for bringing that up in the chat. Does any of these positions look like they may turn into the GM position, or do we still think that is a position to come? Anyone have any thoughts or insight?
Larry Williams.
Larry Williams.
But that was the one question I was thinking about in terms of the GM. And if I was able to get on last week with Coach Quinn, I would have asked him that question in terms of having to deal with, for lack of a better term, player negotiations. Because we're seeing now on social media, all these players are having agents, NIL agents. And as a head coach, that could be a distraction. But if we're going to follow the pro model, get a person who's going to negotiate with them, be in lockstep with the head coach, like this is a player we want to get, or this is someone we're not going to get, but not that he has to focus on that. And even I think 2 weeks ago when he was on the 220 QB club, he said he was a little bit late because he had to answer some question because somebody said, what's up with, I heard somebody got this and got that. And that's just a distraction. So eventually that GM role is going to become even more prominent at our level. And we're going to have to address that sooner rather than later so that the coaches can manage the on the field stuff and you have someone doing that negotiation stuff and you just make sure you're in lockstep.
But let me ask this. Oh no, go ahead, Ashley, because I was gonna come to you and Tasha because I wanted you to maybe touch on that for a moment.
Based on conversation, is Larry Williams for sure. It's Larry Williams. And yeah, that and to your point, Marcus, is, believe it or not, has already met us talking about agents.
Right.
We know agents and representation, and even just a player coming to FAMU, not even talking money, just placement, because agents are doing that as well. It's getting players opportunities to be on a roster, just the basics. So it has met our level finally, and Larry Williams appears to currently, for now, play that role and to help Coach Quinn in that manner.
Okay. And in the broader scope, the question is, would there be a central GM for the entire athletic department, or do you have delineation to deal with different sports? But that's another topic for another day.
You beat me to the punch. So I was thinking that.
That's a lot of schools are doing that. Are doing that just in general. I don't know if we are in at that space. Things trickle for us. We don't always do it as soon as everybody else does it, but it's certainly not a horrible idea when you consider if we're going to get into the rev share and if we're going to, as a university, and those kind of things, you need it.
I have some thoughts. Go ahead.
Okay.
Go ahead.
I'll just say that although we may not have the role actually marked out, just from our experience, each program that at least Ashley and I have dealt with, they kind of have someone that they have designated, whether that be an assistant coach or just somebody that's closer to the program that they have kind of designated to be in that role. Like basketball, we kind of communicate with someone. Yeah, we communicate with someone that is not the coach, that kind of knows the coach's vision, knows what the coach wants, and can allow the coach to kind of deal with the X's and O's and deal with the business side. So although we may not have the position that's actually it's not salaried or something like that, pretty much all the coaches have somebody that they kind of designated to do that kind of business.
And what I was going to add, and Tasha kind of touched on it. Really, you're only talking two sports,
right?
And I know that Charlie. I know there was some thoughts when he first got a job, and I'm sure that they'll be there. I know he has a designee or someone who's dealing with it, but I wouldn't be surprised after this season if you have a dedicated gym for men's basketball. And I don't see a situation here at FAMU where there'll be a centralized person. Those two revenue generating sports gonna want people who's specific to them and dealing with their coaches and players and the people they got to negotiate with directly. So that's what I would anticipate what it's going to look like moving forward.
Mm-hmm. Agreed.
Last question or thought here regarding our segment on the coaching hires. Comparing this staff on paper to the best staff of any other FAMU / HBCU / FCS staff, is it too early to make those kind of projections, or what do you think about this staff? And as you think about who is that comparison for you, so I'll go around the horn. I saw a couple people shaking their heads early, so I'm gonna start with Troy.
This is not a homer answer, and I've vacillated on this answer for a while. Ron Dugan's, because of what he was as a player. I don't know if anybody paid attention to that national championship team. On third down, we stopped throwing to Peter Ward because he was dropping the ball. We was throwing to 6'4" plus Ron Dugan's. That was our third down guy.
Yeah, man,
we get third down production from our wide receivers better than we did last year. That'll be an improvement on me. Now it's not going to compare to the Billy Joe era. No, I'm not going to get crazy. But in this time span that we're in now, this is going to be a really good squad.
Jay Peeps.
So for me, it's when I look at this staff, it's like, yeah, I think, yes, this is an upgrade from last year, 100%. Definitely. You're going to see more like consistency, attention to details, all that. Now, as far as like where they rank and all this and compared to somebody else, for me, it's just we gotta crawl before we can walk, and then we gotta walk before we run. So for me, it's like prove it to me August 29th, and then again prove it to me September 6th, and then again the week after that. Bring me, a set number of wins before I can crown you and say that was like just a memorable staff. Which I think they have the potential to be that, but it's just, I need to see you in action. I need to see, like, how do you make in-game adjustments? How are you coaching these guys in practice? How are you breaking down film to these guys? It's just little things I need to see, like, in-game and, off the field before I can really crown them and give them that title.
Gerald, let me hear your thoughts on this.
Yeah, I mean, the staff is very intriguing on paper. I mean, you just never know until, like you said, they get it out and play it on the field. But I mean, I like the dynamic of it. I'm really interested to see what the team will really lean on, because I feel like it has a strong defensive coaching staff, but also it's very strong offensively too. So I'm ready to see how that dynamic is going to work out. And see if FAMU is scoring a lot of points or stopping other offenses, or a little bit of both. It might change up, on a week-to-week basis. But, it's a good staff on paper. And, I mean, I think we all know that, all the hires wasn't announced neither. So, it's a position on there that's missing. But yeah, I'm ready to see how they gonna work with this thing. I guess we'll get a sneak peek of it during the spring. Spring started in less than a month, so I'm ready to see how it go.
I say.
To be fair, I don't want to compare them to, especially not like Billy Joe or anybody, because for this reason, no other, even going back as close as Willie Simmons, nobody has had to deal with what these coaches in this current climate have to deal with as far as sports. NIL, transfer portal, this ever evolving. Although the transfer portal and NIL was a thing with Willie Simmons, just, using him. But I mean, we know Willie Simmons himself said that we didn't have to worry about NIL, right? This era, the way that things are changing every week, and Ashley and I are, even Marcus is sending us stuff. Everything is changing, and I think the attitude centered around the portal and NIL and how the athletes respond in high school and all that stuff. I don't want to compare because it's something different. They have to be different coaches, so I don't want to compare. I'm going to say on paper, I think that they have an impressive resume collectively, all of them. But I'm going to agree with someone in the comments. I think ultimately the story of who they are as coaches will come down to who they get to come in and play and how it plays out for the season.
Okay. Mr. Campbell?
I can answer this a little bit differently, and this is because, guess what? I'm part of HBCU Coaches Corner. So I have actually interviewed 90% of all the coaching staffs in the SWAC, the MEAC, the SI, and the CIAA. So I've literally talked to coaches at this stage where Quinn Gray is and senior staff. And what I will say, and I can say this with a lot of confidence, past performance can predict future production. Yep. And because of with this staff, if I go and look, we were the first people to interview Tremaine Jackson. We looked at his staff, and Coach Cole said, they're going to win. We interviewed Chennisberry when he moved up. And Coach Cole looked at that staff, you're going to win. I have got nothing but text after text after text from people that are in the industry that say that staff is a good staff. So to your point, will we know when it comes to wins and losses? No, we don't can predict that. But what I will say, and I'll use this because I think it's obvious, and I'll pick a staff. When people looked at Deshaun Jackson versus Michael Vick, right? Coach Cole immediately looked at the coach and said, what Delaware State got? And people that win to know, you're going to see them move. When people looked at Michael Vick's staff, and it kind of proved to be true. So when you're looking at our staff from top to bottom, we've all mentioned it, where we've got guys, our defensive backs coach led the #1 defense in the SIAC. We got Ryan Lewis for multiple years from defense. You're talking about Ron Dugas that have put guys into the pro. So these sort of things make you feel confident when you start looking at, and for me who has talked to these coaches and looked at their staffs, because one of the things too, what I also like is the youthful energy of the staff. Mm-hmm. These boys will go get these, I think one of the things Bishop Bonnet said when he talked about Willard was, I won't say what Bishop said. I'll just say he was one of us, right? Mm-hmm. You can see this with this staff, with these guys already hitting the streets. And I think EA will tell you the best thing about it, and I get this call all the time, people are trying to get in contact with our staff. I didn't get that. I didn't have nobody checking for us like that. Okay?
That's true.
So I want that to be clear where what we're separating. I know we don't know we're going to go 12-0 whatever to JP point, but I'm talking about the measurement where we're at right now. I can confidently say, because I did interview all these staffs and talk to coaches all the time, where we're at right now, man, listen, because I tell you, I'm going to say this again. Southern's got a new staff. They had 945,000. Our staff is ringing bells. Mm-hmm. Southern's got guys, but we got coaches. There's a difference. And I'm just saying, two staffs, no disrespect, but people in the industry, when they're looking at Southern, what they're put together, you kind of say, oh, well, that's a name. When you're looking at Ryan Lewis, that's a coach. Yeah. When you're looking at Billy Joe, that's a coach. When you look at Rock, see, that's what I keep hearing. That's a coach. That's a coach, not a name. And I'd rather have coaches than names.
Wow. Mic drop. Follow that up, Keith. What you got?
Anytime, all times, man. Come on, you ain't got to get ready to stay ready. But no, I mean, to me, it's the comparables. Like, what are your comparables? Like, I'm sorry, I don't see many other teams that are comparable to Florida A&M University's coaching staff. It ain't even all that other stuff, history, legacy, and all that other stuff. We got that. But when I start looking from head coach down, what are your comparables within this conference other than Southern, maybe Jackson State? There's no other school in the conference when I start looking at coaching staff success on the field, off the field, not just, as Mr. Campbell said, not just names, actually success. Like, we ain't talking about names and what your name is and what your name brought in. No, we're talking about what you've done. This is always the business of what have you done for me lately. But when I look through that FAMU staff and what I'm seeing this year, I'm seeing a lot of people who've done it. And so I say it proudly. I think 8 wins. I'll say it right now. You can strike it. I don't care. I said last year, hey, this is going to depend on the quarterback. Guess what? I said the quarterback stuck from game 1 to game end. And guess what? It hung on the quarterback. This year, you got a coaching staff. It's better. They're going to realize who can and cannot play. You can bet an eyebrow on it. I'll bet 2. 7 to 8 wins. It's going to make a difference. Coaching matters. The skill set matters. And when you have an amalgamation, I saw the word Voltron, but I got to use them big words because it's a show off of this FAMU degree that my parents and I spent this money on. But we have an amalgamation of talent and a justification in a strong juxtaposition of this stuff we had last year. So
who?
I'm saying all that.
What'd you call me?
So I'm saying all that to say this. We got a real strong roster. We got a strong team. And you start looking at some of the players they brought back. Hey, y'all kept saying we got a real strong defensive staff. Start looking at the offensive talent we brought back, though. Because you got an offensive mastermind and you got some offensive talent. And I'm just saying, you might be trying to address the fact that, hey, when spring practice come in, that offense might be ahead of that defense, and we're gonna have to see if we can match them up. Because I promise you, if that defense this year meets the skill level of the coaching that it has, it's gonna be some fun in Bragg Stadium this year.
Hey, can I piggyback on one thing that Keith said? And I think this is what people, to your point about what we have, when you look at the conference and look at who we got transferring in as a quarterback, we're going to have one of the most, if he potentially becomes a starter because he was an all-conference player, we're going to have an experienced quarterback. We're not going to have a guy that just transferred in and we hope he can play. This is what I'm talking about, not names, production. So when you start looking at the conference, so you look at Lockhart at Jackson State, Andrew Bonnie most likely is coming back to Alabama State. We'll see what Sam Shea with his quarterback because he was injured coming back. But now all of a sudden, we're going to have an experienced quarterback that knows the offense. That's going to mean something when I'm talking about coaching and things like that. To Keith's point, where now you got guys that now we ain't got to go all the way through the spring, all the way through the summer, and because they haven't been here, don't know the offense, and we got to water down offense. So I just want to point out because that's very important what we're bringing back and what we got coming in.
Ashley, go ahead.
I don't know who I should be comparing the coaches to based on the original question. Internal coaches, external, outside coaches. What I can tell you is that I'm just confident that the Tucker Hall defense and the Butterfinger wide receivers are a thing of the past. That's what my confidence lies. And it's not about Jimmy's and Joe's. It's about the coaches and the bros. We got some coaches. They got a resume and put some things on the field that will give us more like this offseason. I am very peaceful about what's happening in that field house. Now we still have to see it play out. We still have to see the continual recruiting and all the things, but I have confidence. I am not like, oh, what if? I recognize there's some things we need in some places. We need to fill some holes and spots in. That's just what it is. I'm not lost on that. But am I worried? When I look at the resume, Mr. Campbell just said it. We got some coaches. And that's what gives me peace to say we got some coaches. And as an ex-athlete, I've seen the lesser talented athlete have more production because the coach coached them up. It's not always about you got to be, you need some talent. Don't get me wrong. Mm-hmm. But if a coach can coach, they'll make it happen.
Hello, Indiana.
Hello.
Yeah, literally.
Marcus.
Yeah, I guess my sentiments are kind of lie with some of the earlier comments that, we have to see it. We have to see the rubber hit the road. But in terms of past success and the potential from what we've seen and what we know about the coaches, with the exception of the young man who's actually, I guess he had a cup of tea with the pros, Mikey Victor, but everyone else we've seen coach before, they're coming from a successful program or moving up the ranks in the coaching profession. So we know that we have high expectations and we have confidence that they'll meet those expectations. So, but I don't have any comparison because we don't have anything quantitative to measure against yet.
Gotcha. Kelvin, wrap up with you.
Yeah, so this is based on potential, right? This has nothing to do with what they've done here, but what they have done is elsewhere. And so I'm gonna approach it like this. I think about some of the great staffs and coaching trees because I'm a big coaching tree guy. And I think about the staff when Alcorn was making all those runs, and who was on that staff, and how many of them ended up being coaches, head coaches, and been successful. I think about Broadway at A&T and some of the guys he had on that staff, and same thing. A lot of those guys left and were successful. That's how Willie's staff is similar to. He had a couple of them that went pro staffs and everything. So that's the caliber of staff I see it as on paper as of right now. You've got guys who collectively, like we come here collective as the Avengers and bring out different talents, and people like to see us together because they appreciate what we bring to the table. That's how I see our staff, this football staff. I see it as a FAMU Avengers football, and so I anticipate greatness. As expectations are high, expectations should be high, and like I say, winners win. So we'll see, but this is a very good, strong staff.
Hey, Bryan, can I just, because we're talking about coaches and Marcus, because we've talked about the big names, right? All the names and stuff. But Marcus I'm going to talk about Mike and Victor because we didn't get to that, but I want to make a point. Why you hire a guy like Mike and Victor, because you got Coach Lewis and Cash. They're going to be on these kids' ass, right? Just because that's what coaches do. But you got a guy that's going to be able to pull those young guys and say, hey, listen, that guy coached me. That guy coached me and get me to the NFL. Let me explain to you what we're trying to do. And he's played at a very high level. So he's going to be a great buffer between the coaches to the young guys when there's maybe an additional message that needs to be put out because he actually performed and he just did this recently. So I think, again, when you look at those type of hires, to Kelvin's point of that tree, you bring in a guy that says, you know what? I just recently coached him. He played at a high level. He was an all-swag guy. Now I got him. So if I need that additional, after practice, he's going to be the guy out there with those guys. So I just think Marcus just made a great point of the depth of this staff. And I just want to point that out why that's a great hire.
Mm-hmm. Well said. Well said. All right. I know it seems odd, but let's take a break. Give everybody a chance to either run to the bathroom, get a drink, and come back on the other side and talk about this exciting 12-game schedule that you see on the screen from left and right. So we'll go through the schedule and talk about some of our favorite games, talk about this amazing home schedule with, if I count it right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 home games. That's right, 6. Wow. 6 home games.
3 more in the state.
3 more in the state. So, I mean, we're talking over 3/4 of the season right here in the state of Florida. So we'll talk about that. And then, of course, folks are already putting out projections. Not going to say
Gerald.
who, but Gerald, speaking of, one question here from JT. JT's kind of encouraged here. JT is saying, so we won't have to see any 3 articles a week talking about who would be Sugar Man. Is that true? Can we confirm or what can you say to that question there, Gerald?
I don't know nothing.
got
They
you
ran
have
my
to
boy
find,
raggedy last season.
find other new story ideas this go around, Gerald. I guess is
You
what
should have had
JT
plenty
said.
last year.
Well, he
Well, at
did.
least Gerald will probably be able to come to practice this year and find out.
Wow.
On that note,
Another shot.
we will take a break. You mean we might actually talk to players this year?
Wow.
Yeah, y'all throwing shots.
I'm sorry.
I did it for you, Gerald, because I knew you couldn't say it.
Yes,
I'm glad you said
did.
it because
Steve started that. I'm gonna go to a short break and come back on the other side. You're watching the O&G Strike Zone right here on the Black College Sports Network, talking about the 2026 football schedule coming up on the other side.
This is the Dean of the College of HBCU Sports, Kenyatta Cavill of Dr. Cavill's Inside the HBCU Sports Lab with Mike Washington and Charles Bishop. Come mix it up in the lab where the course lecture is in session every Tuesday from 6 o'clock p.m. Central Standard Time on Facebook Live, YouTube Spreaker, or the BCSN app, as we discuss all things about the HBCU sports culture, including exploring the week that was in the sporting HBCU diaspora, as well as the upcoming week of HBCU sports. With me, the Dean, the College of HBCU Sports, on Dr. Cavill's Inside the HBCU Sports Lab with Mike Washington and Charles Bishop. Course lecture dismissed.
Looking for the ultimate cultural experience of 2026? The Zora Outdoor Festival of the Arts is where you need to be. From January 30th to February 1st, Eatonville, Florida will come alive with incredible live performances. Immerse yourself in interactive art. Shop from over 80 vendors. Take a journey through history with a new virtual tour app. And enjoy family-friendly STEM activities. Plus, don't miss the unforgettable R&B tribute to the legends. This is more than a festival. It's a celebration of Eatonville's rich cultural heritage. Visit zorafestival.org for tickets.
You're looking for the latest information on Southern University sports, the Southwestern Athletic Conference, and HBCU athletics. There's only one place to go. Tune in to the Carlos Brown Show, exclusively on the Black College Sports Network.
When it comes to professional learning, teachers deserve better. From the leader in online learning, Stride brings you the Stride Professional Development Center, an on-demand library of mobile-friendly courses that gives teachers choice and flexibility, allowing them to learn anytime and anywhere. Our dynamic courses provide bite-sized learning and help educators advance their knowledge while also gaining professional development hours. It's time you take charge of your learning. Visit us today to get started.
It's never too early to plant the seed, to share the tradition, and instill a sense of pride in your HBCU with your little ones. HBCU Pride and Joy Children's Boutique helps you share your school spirit with a wide selection of adorable kids apparel and accessories officially licensed from your favorite HBCU. Visit hbcupridejoy.com and follow us on all social media at HBCU Pride Joy on Facebook and Twitter.
For over 30 years, HBCU Image has been more than just an apparel store. We've been a movement, a statement, a legacy. We celebrate the pride, the purpose, and the culture that make historically black colleges and universities legendary. HBCU Image, a Kenny T's company.
All right, welcome back to the O&G Strike Zone. It's the team. It's the team. It's the Adventures. It's everybody's here. Bryan, Kelvin, Keith, Mr. Campbell, Keith, Ashley, Troy, JP, Sashay, and GT3 in the house. All right, everybody's excited about the 2026 football schedule. You know, first off, shout out to Coach Gray. Dropping the coaching staff when he dropped it, where he dropped it. You know, the football schedule coming out. Gotta be careful here. Let's just say, you know, look, it's already drinking water. A lot of people were
I'm glad you're drinking water. I'm not.
Yeah, well, look at you. Good for you.
This Wednesday night.
Seems like it's Wednesday
5
night.
o'clock somewhere.
Yeah, that's
Seems
true.
like that. The schedule seemed to be floating around, and some might say the NNN for probably about a good week before it actually dropped. Yeah, something like that. It was running around out there. We ended up being the second school to actually officially drop their schedule. Alabama A&M was the first school to drop it, and then we officially dropped it. Was it Monday? Was it Monday when it dropped? Monday afternoon, something like that.
It says the 26th.
Officially.
Right, officially. That key word there, officially. So as wait a second, hold on. Why we still got Gerald? Okay, that's not supposed to happen. All right,
Gerald.
Another way how to do that.
Gerald got highlighted. That's all.
All right, Gerald got highlighted. I gotta figure out nothing against you, Gerald.
I say just leave him there.
Gerald would be the first person.
They gotta face me the whole season at the end of the game.
Gerald would be the first one to get highlighted. I'm just saying that ain't right.
Yeah. Stop it. All right, here we go. We opened the season in what is technically week 0 on the college football schedule. August 29th, a home game against the Albany State Rams. So Coach Gray gets to welcome in his former team to brag on week 0. Then the Rattlers will travel to South Florida. It's believed that it's the Orange Blossom Classic. It says neutral site against South Carolina State on September 6th. I believe that is a Sunday, if I'm not mistaken.
It is.
Correct?
It is.
Correct.
It is a Sunday, which means that the OBC is back on Sundays. So that's a good thing for them. Then what's also interesting is that the Rattlers will stay down in South Florida, and they will play a second game in that Hard Rock Stadium, the site of the national championship game, against the national runner-up on a Thursday. So that'll be interesting. We'll talk about that in a moment, I'm sure. Then the Rattlers will have about 9 days off. We'll come back home and play. Wow, welcome back, Tennessee State, to the schedule. It will be at Bragg on September 19th. It's been put out there in multiple places that it's a 2-year deal. I haven't read all the particulars about it, so Gerald or anybody feel free to jump in here. But it is a return trip to Tennessee State, to Nashville, I believe, in 2027. Then we begin SWAC play, hosting Alabama A&M at home on September 26th. And then we travel after a bye week. Then we travel to Alabama State, October 10th. Any word on if that's their homecoming?
No, theirs is the 5th. The first Saturday.
Okay, so it will not be their homecoming.
Always the first Saturday.
Oh, always. Okay, didn't know that. All right. And then we travel back to Jackson, Mississippi, October 17th to take on Jackson State. That'll be an interesting game. Following
Birthday, eyebrows, and mullet. That's what that game is.
Whose birthday? Yours?
Mine.
Oh,
Nice.
Lord have mercy. Wow, okay. Well, there we go. I can't wait for that one. Then we come back home after a 2-game road trip. We come back. I believe that is homecoming, October 24th against UAPB.
This weekend.
Yeah, and then Halloween against the Jaguars. That should be a fun Halloween in Tallahassee. Boy, that's going to be a scary game for the Jaguars. No
Plus,
pun
the Tigers going to be in town playing Florida State that same weekend too.
God, that's going to be.
Is the fair going to be in town that weekend too?
Fair don't start typically now to the first week first Thursday in November.
Okay.
Yeah, I think we have 3 conflicts, or not 3 conflicts, 3 weekends where we have games with FSU and FAMU.
I'm willing to bet that the FAMU Southern game is going to have more intrigue behind it than Florida State and Clemson. I feel like Mike Norvell might not even be employed by Halloween.
I'm about to say
game 3. He'll be going by game 3.
Wow, that's the prediction.
Yeah, he may not make it. He may not crawl out of Tuscaloosa.
I'll be interested to hear your guys' opinions on the times of that weekend in games a little bit later here. But let me finish up. We move into November, traveling to Lorman, Mississippi, to take on the Braves, Alcorn State. Then we welcome back Valley. Oh, Lord. Dare I say, a must-win game. November 14th, back in Bragg, last game, home game of 6. And then, of course, the neutral site in Orlando against Bethune. There is your 2026 schedule. All right, guys. Nope, there we go. Favorite games. Let's go around the horn. Let's hear your favorite games. Gerald, what's your favorite game on the schedule, or games on the schedule?
Favorite games. I always love the FAMU versus Southern matchup. That's always a game I look forward to. Just because it's like it gives you kind of a homecoming junior type of vibe. Because I mean, Southern would never be a FAMU homecoming just because it brings the crowd already. I can just pick one. Or I can pick another one.
Go ahead. Yeah, no, you pick more than one.
Another one. I'll say the South Carolina State game. Having that game early just to kind of see how this team with Quinn Gray, their first 2 games, their first Division I game, having them go up against the defending Black College champions, it kind of shows where they are as a team. And I mean, I'm gonna say I'm going to spoil it and say I'll put that game will be a loss. But if you go out there and have a good showing, that can prove that y'all got something brewing over at FAMU if you're able to play up against those Chennisberry, South Carolina State Bulldogs games. So those are the 2 games I'm really looking forward to.
All right, Tasha, your favorite games on the schedule?
My favorite game, hands down, without a question, is the Tennessee State game. The Atlanta Classic made me fall in love with Atlanta when I was on the Hill years ago. Okay, so that game, that renewed rivalry, I cannot wait until that game, and it is home and home, from what I understand. So we'll be playing them at home, and then I'll say my next favorite game probably is going to be the South Carolina State game as well, the OBC. I don't think they'll bring a lot of fans, but it's at home for me in Miami, so I love the OBC. It's a good time. It's feel good. So those are my top 2 games.
All right, Jay Peeps, your favorite games?
So my favorite games, I'm gonna go in order here. September 6th, Orange Blossom Classic. Looking forward to that. You got the defending HBCU national champs in your state. You're facing off against them. Plus, Labor Day weekend in Miami. Who doesn't love the beach, mojitos, and football, of course.
You doing all
we're
that.
We're the away team though, so it's gonna be hot. Y'all better leave the mojitos at home because that side of Hard Rock Stadium will burn
true.
you out of here.
That's true. That's why we're gonna have mojitos after the game, and we're gonna have them on Saturday as well. But also too, I'm gonna say Tennessee State because that rivalry it's been gone for far too long. I was at the Tampa Classic, and we almost thought that the game wasn't even going to happen because there were so many people that swore Ray J was going to be underwater, but thankfully the game got played. But we owe them. We owe them one because it's been a minute since we last beat them. And then, of course, looking at Jackson State, that's going to be a battle.
I wouldn't put it up there.
My Lord.
Wait, what? I don't know.
I was on mute, wasn't me.
Yeah. All right. I'm just gonna keep on going. I don't even know what's happening right now. But I mean, outside of homecoming, of course, too. You look at the Southern game. Of course, Halloween and Bragg. I think that's gonna be an exciting one. That's also a rivalry. And then, of course, Florida Classic there at the end. We owe them. All I'm gonna say is just eat, sleep, beat the hell out of Bethune. Repeat.
All right, go ahead, Troy.
I don't have one game. I don't have 2 games. I got 3. So first off, Orange Blossom Classic. white linen got parties and that crew that say they want to run me one because they got beaten Tallahassee the last time and they blamed it on the refs, you lost.
They did.
But come on down. Let's enjoy some conch salad.
Yeah.
The Tennessee State game for tradition, the most black national championships in all of HBCU. Those are the two blue bloods for real. I wish it was more at stake, but again, it's a rivalry of sorts. So yeah, let's get it. And then, like I said, for them people who swear to God they don't know what mullet fish is, for them people who I couldn't get to Jackson for my birthday the last time because of a hurricane, because I lost an eyebrow because of them. Like I said, it's gonna be smoked mullet, eyebrow bets, and birthday celebrations. And we're gonna hug it out after everything over with because I want to know where the blues joint is before I leave. Them my 3 games.
Are you talking about Jackson, Troy?
Yes, I am.
Are you going?
Yes.
Okay, we going. Me and Ashley went last time. We had a good time too, didn't we, Ashley?
Sure did.
Sounds like we might need to reserve Johnny T's for the post game celebration, right?
Yep.
Well, that's
not like it might be a takeover.
Yeah, I'm in. Sponsor of the Off Script channel, so no, we got to go to M Bar. I get paid from the M Bar, so now y'all got to come to the M Bar. Shout out to the M Bar.
Wherever there it is. Okay.
Got to give the channel sponsor.
Okay, sounds good.
Yeah, you could keep the mullet. I'm good on that.
What?
Oh my God!
What is
We're
going
gonna talk about
on?
that later.
That's
All
okay.
Right,
It's
I ain't had mullet in a while.
Wow.
Mullet.
Ashley, favorite games.
So, absolutely Tennessee State. That just brings back all the memories and nostalgia. No question about it. Super excited to see that one. That one was a surprise for me too.
Yeah.
Although, we kind of heard and knew rumblings of some games we would or wouldn't play, but Tennessee State totally surprised me. Super excited about that one. I'm going to say something that's probably off the rails, so to speak, that everybody else is saying, but I'll say I really do like the Albany State game because it gives an opportunity to see what we have, who we are before we go and play those defending national champions at that OBC. And I just like the genius of Coach Quinn to even go ahead and put that in there. Of course, and it's a good game against a good D2 program. His previous program, so many storylines. Jerry, you have plenty of articles to write when it comes to that game and week 0. But then I just like the fact that it gives us a chance to come into my next choice, which would be the OBC. South Carolina State is also always a good and fun team to play and go up against and talk trash with. Gives that we're feeling real MEAC-ish this year. It's feeling real MEAC-ish with some of the people, extra games we have on there that are, non-SWAC. So those are probably, I named pretty much 3, 2.5, South Carolina State at OBC, Tennessee State. And then I like the implications of putting that Albany State game at a week 0.
No mullet, Brian. No mullet.
Mullet sandwich, Tashay. That's all I'm gonna tell you. Mullet sandwich. Hot sauce. White
fresh out the grease.
Fresh out the grease, exactly. Keith, go ahead. Best games, favorite games.
South Carolina State is up there, and it's for multiple reasons. One, is South Carolina State, but 2, their band director is a Florida A&M University graduate, Dr. Jamal Nicholas, also a graduate of the Great Jones High School here in Orlando, Florida, and a friend of mine. So I'm loving it. I'm loving seeing 2 FAMU graduate band directors go at it, and that's excites me. It's not just because Jamal is a friend, but just seeing that and kind of somebody who has come through and understands that FAMU motion. So he's going to be taking that and adding a little bit, to whatever South Carolina State does, besides, pass the P's and everything else. Tennessee State, because the Marching 100 owes them one. Last time we was in Tampa, they kind of won that begrudgingly. I was there. And Valley, I need my lick back. I'm sorry. Like, Valley got a winning streak on FAMU. I need my lick back. Like, Florida Classic is the Florida Classic. That's always going to be there. But I need my lick back against Valley. And I need it by 40.
Is this Troy doing this?
Got
a lot of things going on tonight.
The helicopter to get her bird.
Hey, listen, I'm not pressing no button, so that wasn't me.
I bet you got roosters in your neighborhood too, don't you?
Everything in his
Oh my
neighborhood,
God,
he got
you don't
everything in his
even know.
Steve, what's your favorite games of the schedule?
Man, listen, it starts and stops. I've got a couple, but listen, we came into the conference when this school brought in a guy from Florida, and this guy, and you was the standard bearer game until we fell off for a year. But man, listen, that Jackson State FAMU game, and I talked to Doc. The Marching 100 will be in the building. I said, if I got to put them all on my Escalade, they got to be in the vet. Because they was in the vet last year. 2 years ago, we would have won that game. So it's got to be Jackson State and FAMU. But then after that, I'm super excited because my guy, just 1-0. We just want to go 1-0. So you got Chennis Berry down in Miami. So man, we can go 2-0, 2-0, and stop the world. And then, as somebody old school, and it was mentioned, I'm happy not for us, but I'm happy for Tennessee State because they have been wanting FAMU to get back on this schedule for a long time. And it's not the game for us, it's for the game when we go up there while they're going to be excited. For the Marching 100 to come to Nashville, been a long time. I know we played in that, but I remember when we would have to go to Nashville. I go old school back then. And that is a big, big game. And then last but not least, and I'm going to say this, and I done told Coach Quinn this, I cannot believe it. Valley, 70. I need 70. I need cannons. I need people that ain't even supposed to play in that game. Because for the fact that Mississippi Valley has a 2-game winning streak, Crazy. Do you realize that only maybe one other team in this conference that has a 2-game winning streak, and that's Jackson State on us? Think about that, what I just said. The only other school in this conference that has a 2-game winning streak is Jackson State University.
And
so no, we got to put 70 on that. And T-Buck is my guy. And, hey, I know he's gonna do great things, but I'm sorry. That right there, because that we got to end that. Because that alone, and people and Bryan, we're all in these chats when we get on there on that coaches call on Monday, and that's all we used to just you know what I'm saying, let that man cook. Now we done cooked that, we got to cook something else now. So no, I'm sorry.
They be in the chat. They be in the chat saying FAMU and Valley, the new rivalry. Of the
exactly. That's
unacceptable.
That's unacceptable. That is, and I'm saying as somebody old school, that is so disrespectful.
It is.
Come on, man.
Can't even talk trash no more.
You can't. That is unacceptable. So yeah, so that Valley game, that's it for me.
Marcus, your favorite games on the schedule?
For me, it's I guess Tennessee State, just renewing that rivalry, and hopefully it'll renew it not only for folks who remember it back when, but also rekindle it for the current student base and going forward. And the other one for me is Alabama State, because now if Andrew Body comes back, we get some lick back for that whooping they put on us last year, but also the intrigue of the other coaches, former Alabama State coaches, going back to the stadium and seeing how things play out. So there's going to be a lot of intrigue going on there. So that's probably the one that I'm looking at too.
He didn't say that's our stadium. He didn't say that's our stadium. Alabama State is our stadium.
Oh, yeah. They have not lost there. No. Go ahead, Kelvin. Favorite games.
So the one I'm gonna highlight at the end is one that nobody else has highlighted, and I'm gonna explain why it's my favorite game. But two that I'll just bring out. Well, before I even say those two, we're playing historically six of the 8 top teams that we played the most with this schedule. So, Tennessee State, of course, Bethune, Southern, South Carolina State, Albany State, and Alabama State. We played them a ton historically. The only two that I think that missing out of that top 8 would be, I think, A&T and Tuskegee, if I remember those stats right. So we playing a traditional rival schedule with this. I love it. All right, so South Carolina State defending champions. We get the chance to, after playing Albany, we get the chance to see where we are right off the bat. I love that matchup, and then of course Tennessee State. But my personal favorite game will be this year. I'm looking forward to, even though I love the schedule, I love them all. It's going to be the Alcorn game because I've never been to the reservation, and I'm looking forward to going to the reservation. That's the only reason it's my favorite game. I'm looking forward to that one.
Me too. I'm going.
It's
I heard it's a good time. I gotta go see what it's about.
It's a good time. It's a good time.
I'm just telling you right now, when you go down there, you ain't gonna have no phone signal.
I heard about that.
Tell somebody when you get off I-20, you better tell them in because you ain't gonna talk to them after that. So if you going down there to holler at G, you better say, G, where are you at before you get off I-20? Because I'm telling you, ain't no phone signal down there.
Oh my goodness!
No, that's not even possible. I thought T-Mobile covered the entire country.
Man,
or is that the little white dot?
The only thing that cover the country at Alcorn is the country down in Alcorn.
Wow. What if you got to call AAA?
But you don't got to call the police. You're not going to
The police are already there. What you mean?
They
Ain't no
gonna feed
can't
you. You
get
gonna
there.
eat. They you gonna have a good time. If you drink, they gonna give you plenty of that. It's gonna be flowing with milk and honey. Okay, trust
It's one way in and one way out.
Whoa,
You're not.
I already got to say, Kincaid and the boys. I can't listen. Let me tell you a quick story. So Kincaid's a big alum down there. He's watching all our shows. I literally text Kincaid the day this schedule came out. I said, I need parking passes and I need you to put my truck right, like Tasha say, right where they. Because when I said them boys cook, boys cook.
Yeah.
So you ain't got to worry. So when y'all come down, just find me because I'm gonna be right there next to Kincaid. Shout out to Kincaid and them Alcorn boys.
Wow. Okay. That's interesting. I'm gonna have to try to find a satellite phone or something.
My phone worked. I got AT&T. It worked.
I mean, it's okay, Brian. It's okay, Brian. We understand y'all have internet problems when y'all go to Mississippi.
No, we won't. No, we'll be anyway. I do want to underscore something that Kelvin said in talking about the historic nature of this schedule. Kelvin mentioned the top 7, but I'm gonna bring it in a little tighter, Kelvin. Of the 5 programs that we have played the most, 4 of them are on this schedule. Bethune-Cookman, of course, being the number 1. We have played them 76 times, according to the data that I'm looking at, right? We have a 52-24 record against Cookman overall. Tied for second most is Southern, 68 times. We have a 41-26-1 record against Southern. In 4th place, 4th most times that we have played is South Carolina State, 62 times that we have played them. 34-26-2 is FAMU's record. Now, of the 5, the 5th team is Tennessee State, who we have played 55 times. Unfortunately, it is the only school that we have a losing record against, 25-30. So that just kind of underscores the historic nature of the schedule that we have. So I just thought I'd share that with everybody.
It's wild that we have a losing record against them when, like, for the longest time, like the ATL Classic felt like the FAMU Invitational because, like, we just would always beat them.
Isn't that John Merritt though?
They cheated John Merritt. They cheated a lot.
Yeah.
Like I've heard a story of them having players.
The refs flew down with their team when they came to Tallahassee.
With John Merritt. No, that's real stuff down there.
Yeah. Yeah, they were considered a road program back then, which is why they really weren't in conferences.
No, they were independent.
Yeah,
they played anybody, any place.
They were rogue. Yeah.
The other thing that I'll bring up, what's interesting is going to the OBC down to South Florida, playing South Carolina State on September 6th, Sunday, and then staying. I believe in kind of what my sources have kind of told me or informed me is that the program and the team will actually stay in South Florida during that entire week. Instead of traveling back to Tallahassee, they will stay in South Florida and they'll play Miami on a Thursday night. Now, brings up an interesting thing because we've seen this in the NFL. I don't know if we've seen this in the college level on such short gap where a team will play on a Sunday and then turn around with, let's see, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, on 4 days off, rest, turn around and play the next game. What are anybody have general thoughts, concerns about that short turnaround?
I believe the MAC did it. They play on Saturday, and like a team might play on Wednesday, then they have the following. They'll play into the following Saturday. But I think the MAC have a few 4 or 5 day turnarounds because they play on Tuesdays and Wednesdays. But outside of that, you're right. The college level is not something you see much of. I think it's fair to have the concern about injuries and those 2 tough games too, right? South Carolina State gonna be physical, and of course UM just played for the national championship. So I'm sure the coaches have a plan for that and how they'll play those two games. They probably won't look the same. That's 1.3 million, I think. So it makes sense. It's a long holiday weekend.
Well, you say it makes sense, but I'm just going to play devil's advocate for the student athletes.
Wait, that's Troy's job.
I'll be quiet.
No, that's fair. I started off by saying it's fair. That is a legitimate concern. Clear safety, that's a legitimate concern. And what I'm hitting at is, and I'm not saying, I'm sure the coaches, the competitors, the players, competitors, they're going to try to play, but I would think some of the lineup might look a little different against TSU, and there'll be a very short leash for those starters if as that Miami game goes on. But yeah, it's concern.
Yeah, can I jump in?
Hold on, okay. Gerald, go, and then Troy. Go ahead, Gerald, then Troy.
Man, I feel like the way I feel about the money games is way different than how I felt when I first got here. I don't really like them. I mean, I understand it. I understand that it's a big payday. I understand that, but I mean, I'm just not in agreement of really subjecting your team into a beatdown game. I mean, you saw what happened last time they played against Miami. You saw what happened to the last security guards. You know what I mean? But I don't know, man. I'm just not a big fan of it. I mean, I think the 2024 season really opened my eyes to it when they went to Troy, and that game was like a competitive game. If it's a money game in that aspect, yeah. But if you play in the Miamis, or even when you played against North Carolina the 2022 season, I'm not really a big fan of those games, just because every time you see those games, it ends up being the North Carolina game. It was competitive for a bit, but also eventually you start seeing players getting injured and might be injured for a lengthy amount of time and things like that. So I'm more into the Troy game, the USF game in 2023. That wasn't that bad neither. That was a competitive game too. So, I know it's kind of hard to tell, on the year-to-year basis how these teams going to be, but I don't know. I'm just not a big fan of the money games anymore.
Agreed.
Go ahead, Troy.
So, a couple things when we talk about that Miami game. The ACC as a whole has been pushed into Friday and Thursday games more and more because of their ridiculous contract with the mothership. Y'all see me beat that dead horse all the time? That's why. ESPN no longer thinks the ACC is a real football conference. So they are subjecting them to stuff that they do with the MAC and the AAC that 4 years ago they wouldn't even think about doing. So the Miami game is not a one-off. Florida State is playing Florida on a Friday. Think about that.
Yeah,
This
that's
is
wild.
more about this is more about ESPN than it is about FAMU, Miami, or the ACC.
All right.
So the only saving grace for that is I was just looking at the bye weeks. And so those first 3 games, it's really quick. I mean, I saw some place where it was like 2 games in 4 days pretty much. I don't know what game plan you even put out there for Miami. I mean, it's not going to be the same team for the most part. They are getting that quarterback from Duke. But then after that, you do get a nice little break before Tennessee State. And then you get a bye week before that second half slate. But I'm with y'all. Like, I don't love the beatdown games. It's Miami. Like, you know what it's going to be. Like, I'll be honest. I'm not going down there on Thursday night. I'm going to sit up here and watch it. Now, I might go for the South Carolina State game. But Thursday night, I'm not going down there to watch that. Like, and as a fan, what do I get from that? You know, like, because I can't talk trash to my friends who went to Miami or the people I do know that went to Miami. It's just like they kind of see it as you're just there. It's a practice game for them, and they don't even take you seriously. So, I mean, you know, I don't like the beat down games at all.
Yeah, a game. So with this, the way this is set up, the way you see it, September 6th to September 10th, you're going to see why even NFL players hate playing those Thursday night games. They hate it. They hate going overseas to London and Spain. They hate Thursday night. But, you know, the blessing is, like Keith mentioned, you have basically a mini bye before you play Tennessee State. So you have a chance to lick your wounds. You're not necessarily going back to Tallahassee. So it's going to be remote learning and catching up on classes and stuff, and also recovering between September 6th and September 10th. But I'm like, y'all, man, you know, we know what Miami's going to do. But Miami's already pissed off because of the way they lost the national championship. They have a first-round running back returning. They just brought in probably someone that could be Keith. He gonna be a first round after he gonna be a first round.
They got him and the receiver.
And Malachi Tony, who's still
no. They got the quarterback and the receiver from Duke.
The receiver from Duke.
Yeah. Package deal.
Yeah. See, so I mean, you know, again, they're pissed off. They want to prove a point. So my thing is, look, just, you know, get in, get out, try to stay as healthy as you can, get to Tennessee State. You have time to lick your wounds. But I'm surprised Miami didn't do away with this game and try to replace it with, say, Florida. And for us, you know, play a group of 5 team going forward. If we're still set up to play Georgia in a couple of years, we need to find a way to get out of that.
They canceled that. We're not going to play that. We canceled that.
Oh, thank God. Yeah, because we don't need to see Kirby. Yeah. Ooh, no. Thank God. But, yeah, you know, again, that mini bye is going to come in handy. But I hate the quick turnaround.
And just to put into context for people, I just looked this up off of what Troy was talking about in this ACC Miami schedule. Miami is playing the weekend before. They are playing on a Friday in California. So they're playing in against Stanford. And so obviously so it's not like they're sitting at home in the East Coast time zone relaxing. They'll be traveling. And so, you know, for whatever it's worth, it's not like they will have that much more of an advantage over our athletes in terms of rest, travel, recovery. So I just thought I'd put that out there.
Also, for the record, as much as we hate it, FAMU and Miami is normally in their top 5 attendance games. Like there's not a huge drop off attendance wise. So like even when we played UCF, like I don't know if y'all remember, had not it been for COVID, UCF pretty much called FAMU back and was like, "Hey, you want to run that back?" Because we show up as a fan.
But I don't think on a Thursday though. I don't think we've ever played Miami on a Thursday though. It'll be interesting to see.
2010.
We have really.
I think that was a Friday. It was a weeknight game.
Okay. Miami don't show up for Miami games.
That's true.
that part right there.
That part. That's why they keep FAMU on the schedule.
Listen. Okay. Hold on. All right.
Oh.
My orange and green goes both ways. I've been letting y'all get it all. Okay. But we're getting too far.
The truth is the light.
We're getting a little far.
But I will say though, like, you know, being like going to the restaurants and stuff like the day after and even like the day before the Orange Blossom Classic last year, like leading up to the Notre Dame game when they were about to play the Irish, you know, a lot of their fans, you know, when you walk into a restaurant and you're wearing FAMU clothes, they ask you, they're like, oh my gosh, you know, did the band come? Or, you know, when we play y'all again, is the band coming? And that's what they really want to know. Like, and that's, yeah, that's same deal like here when, you know, when we play USF. Like that's what they always want to know. Like, oh, is the 100 coming? Like that's all that those folks care about.
Paid 100. So anyway, we'll see. It's good to see Steve kind of breaking some news. Maybe Jack that the 100 will be traveling to Jackson. I'm assuming that 100 will travel to Alabama State too.
Yeah, they're going to Alabama State.
Wow.
They're going to Alabama State. They're going to Jackson.
We owe Jackson State
because and we got some Southern people in there. But here's the thing, and you guys know this, and where our schedule's set up, we play Southern and Jack State every other year, far as on the road. The 100's got to be in Baton Rouge every year. They got to be at Jack State every year. Yep. Because if you're talking about, I know this is not a band, but this is important for the culture. When you're naming bands, you're going to say the Jukebox, you're going to say the Sonic Boom, you're going to say the Marching 100. When the Marching 100 is not there, that's not good for our brand. That's not good for the FAMU, which is a big brand, football and the band, just like Jack State football and the band, Southern. So that's why I was like, yo, because again, if anybody was at that Jackson game, I'm telling you, when we stopped those guys, that 100 had to start cranking up. But that whole stadium was quiet, and all we was like, what 100 that? And that 100 had to, you know, you just get the energy. You guys know that the band brings the energy.
Yeah,
so like I said, and just to get one thing off the tangent, if you at the Celebration Bowl, and when South Carolina crunk up was that pass the peas, it was over.
Yeah,
it was over. That whole game changed when them boys crunked that thing up to bring that back. So the band makes a big difference in games like that. So yeah, so there you go.
Any other conflicts in Tallahassee? We mentioned that there was a Clemson game conflict.
Man, Brian, ain't nobody worry about them crabs. FSU sucks.
Yeah, Norvell gonna be going
they still bring twice as many people to games though.
Yeah, I think there's 3 days. There's 3 days. I think the 29th of August. I think September 26th.
Oh yeah, they play New Mexico State.
So that's the Alabama A&M.
Ain't nobody gonna be there for that.
Unless it's parents' weekend.
And the Southern game.
Well, as somebody, and I'm gonna say that people say they don't come, but it's not about who's coming. It's about what the hotels have done. Because I knew the schedule before, like everybody, and literally, you're not going to even believe this. I can't get a room under $250 for the Alabama A&M game because guess what? They know that FSU is probably going to play, and they've just and this is Alabama. They're playing. Who are they playing? Because I got it right there. Who are the FSU playing on the 26th? Somebody said New Mexico.
That's on the 29th.
Central Arkansas is on the 26th.
Okay.
What?
And you go out of the rooms that cost the most.
Got to get wins this year.
Is that Alabama A&M game? It's just crazy. That is.
It don't matter how many wins you get. They still gonna
Norvell got to get wins this year.
Well,
they gonna fire him and his boss. They don't matter.
All right, so
off with their heads.
Three conflicts there in Tallahassee. All right, homecoming again is October 24th. So, all right, guys, let's kind of wrap up this segment here on the schedules. And since Gerald was the one who first put it out there in public spaces, let's talk about bold, way too early predictions and projections. Now, I guess I don't know if this is a spoiler alert, Gerald, because we do want to encourage people to go read your articles. Can you give us a tease to make people go read the article? How do you predict? Like if you had an over, let me put it like this, Gerald. If I set the over under at 7.5 wins, did you predict FAMU to win more than 7.5 games this year?
Yeah, I'll take the over on that.
Okay. All right, so I'm gonna just say.
Hold on. I need to say something though. It's people out here, and I understand, fandom and all that. I'm a graduate myself, but we got to be realistic. We got people out here saying about 11-1, 12-1, all that.
Wrong fan base, Gerald. Yeah, hey, logic don't work. We 11-1 every year.
Yeah,
if we play in Miami.
Man, we got somebody said 12 and
I'm right here, Gerald. I'm right here.
Yeah, we got someone saying 12 and 0. I'm like, shoot, is the 12 and 0 in the room with us?
Looking right, 12 and 0 looking right at you.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I feel like the for me the ceiling is 9 wins and the floor is 7 wins. Now, something that scared me on the schedule is those back-to-back weeks going to Alabama State and Jackson. You know, that right there, I'm like, all right, that's going to be kind of rough. You know, that can be a split, that can be a sweep, or that can be you just leave that empty-handed, you know, especially with a first-year head coach. So those are the 2 games that really I'm kind of worried about just because they're back-to-back. But, I mean, I'm going to say if FAMU going to win the Classic again this year.
Yeah.
They're going to win the Classic. They're going to beat Tennessee State. That's South Carolina State. And this is as of right now. That's South Carolina State.
Which Classic? I'm sorry, Gerald. Which Classic? Because we didn't win any Classics last year. What Classic are you referring to?
The Classic.
What's the? Well, you gotta break it down because
the Classic.
Florida Classic, man.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
The Classic.
Bro, it's late. It must be late.
I'm sorry. It is. It is.
And he ain't got his earrings in.
So you ain't had none of my stuff?
But yeah, I feel like FAMU gonna win the Classic this year. I don't think I'm gonna come off of that hill, you know, right for the season. You know, unless if granted entry into practice this year, see something that may not, be whatever. But I don't know. I'm kind of nervous. I'm nervous about that South Carolina State game too, just because I mean they always a formidable opponent, and I mean, like I said, you got a first-year head coach, so it's gonna be a adjustment period for him. So, but I think it'll still be a season that a lot of people will be happy about.
All right, Troy. Oh, we love to hear your predictions, Troy.
12-0. You about to say 12-0?
No, I'm not. No, I'm not. But so everybody wants to say first-year head coach, right? It's like a pimp named Slickback, right? You got to say D2 National HBCU Championship coach, a pimp named Slickback. You got to say the whole thing. Now, I get we done been through some trauma. We done been through some trauma. And trauma makes you not have hope. But looking at them all in for Quinn numbers, I think there is hope. And the hope is we ain't finna be rational. You got Miami on the schedule. You got TSU on the schedule. I'm gonna say 10-2. I really want to say 11-1, but I'm gonna say 10-2 to be safe. And if you feel some type of way in Jackson, we can bet eyebrows, press-ons, or chest hairs. It don't matter to me.
This is great.
You know you ain't got but 2 eyebrows versus 10 press-ons. You gotta be careful about the numbers, Troy.
That's why he bet the chest hairs too.
You got but one chest. You got but one chest, Troy. I'm just letting you know.
Which way you shaving though? Which way you shaving? You can shave.
Wow. Stop. And okay. Jay Beats, let's hear it.
All right. So right out the gate, I'm looking at just the first half of the schedule there. I'm predicting 4-2, and I'm just gonna say 4-2 going into Jackson on the 17th. I think at that point, you're still proving to be formidable. I think your 2 losses are in that, that little 4-day span right there. I think you can get past Alabama A&M. I think you can get past Alabama State with or without Andrew Body coming back, because I think you're going to have a more formidable defense this time around, one that knows how to tackle better. My ceiling is 5-1, that only loss being Miami, because if you come out looking, just all elite, which I know that's a little bit of a stretch, then I think, even more so, the SWAC East is coming down to October 27th. I definitely think that. My floor is 3-3. I think if you go 3-3 in that first half, it's losses to South Carolina State, Miami, and Alabama State. And then at that point, you're kind of like, we'll see how the back half goes. I definitely think that this team can win 7 to 8 for sure. But, we'll see.
All right, Tasha.
Yeah. I'm gonna say my floor is 8 games. My ceiling is 9. You guys are not worried about or I'm not worried about anybody, but while most of you have, or some people have us losing to Jackson and beating Bama State, I think the opposite. I actually think Bama State is going to be the harder game, and I think we beat Jackson this year. I think we get over that hump. Yeah, so 8 games is the floor and 9 games is the ceiling for me.
Boy, that's a high and low. That's tight right there, boy. Love it. Go ahead, Campbell.
I remember us putting this together the first time, and it was nice. Kelvin, hey man, I got this great idea. We're gonna get all these people together. We're gonna predict, and all y'all jokers lied about what was going to happen. I'm not doing that.
So, hold up. I was honest about Southern. I was right.
That's what we do.
All y'all was
hey, I take great pride in my lies.
It's the
truth.
I
was honest.
I
was right
about Southern.
I did say we were going to beat Southern.
Yeah, that's true.
Coasty beat Southern. I'm not worried about Southern.
Nobody's worried about Southern.
Right. But I also said it was going to depend on the quarterback.
Yeah, that's true too. To be fair, I did say we was going to just give up 10 to Howard. We did give up 10. I thought we was going to score 34.
Brian, you see what they doing now? Kelvin, you see what they doing now? Now they're re-swizzling they lie. Well,
just on it, Kelvin. Just on
I
it.
did say it.
We said what we said.
Here go JP. I said they were going to go score 10. I didn't know we were going to go score 9, though.
That's true. I had faith. I had faith in the defense.
Somebody scored 10.
It wasn't us.
Yeah, so I'm just going. This is my prediction. I predict that we're going to win the games we're supposed to win. Y'all know what those games are. The rest of them games, I ain't talking about them because those games that I saw 40, 40, and 40. So I ain't saying nothing about those games until we start playing the game. But the game we supposed to win, I believe those were coaching games that we lost. And we don't need to name those games, but we know which games those are. So I believe we will win those games. But the rest of those, as they say, we'll let them play. But I ain't about to sit up there and I'm not going to do Coach Quinn like that. Coach Gray. So I'm just telling you that. I ain't going to be out here because I'm telling you this because I literally had somebody clip that show and send me that. Y'all remember? You know Jack State people. How many y'all say y'all was going to win?
They're the best at that, aren't they?
Oh, bro. I had, listen. Okay. They made a whole little thing.
They keep receipts. They keep
and
receipts.
I'm clipping them
CBS
this year. I'm
CBS
clipping them this year.
I ain't
ducking no smoke. I don't care nothing about it.
No. I'm just saying, like, I just can't let y'all go ahead and be talking about no 10, 11, 12, and 1.
Thank you, Steve. Catch them. Save them from themselves.
Or I'm gonna do like I saw the white man. We'll be very competitive every game that we play. That's what
I think Troy the only one that went weird out there now. Everybody else at least predicted 2 losses.
It's all right. So it's all right. I know
eyebrows.
Hey, he got the Cardinals behind him. He can do that, I guess.
I know after my prediction get around, I know I get some messages sent to my email about we winning every game. You don't know what you're talking about.
You boys come.
Wow. It's always that one.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Keith. What you got?
I already told you I got 8. I said it when they hired him. I said it before. I have 8 wins. Look, when the second you said Quinn Gray, I had 8 wins because, as Mr. Campbell said, the games we lost were largely because of coaching. And if we were nice. We were a very good media team last year. We were very nice. We did not ask any disparaging questions. Even when the internet went out in Mississippi, we didn't ask those questions. We were nice people. 8 wins. Like the first couple games of the season, I think you beat Albany State, South Carolina State, and UM probably are L's. I think the Tennessee State game is going to be kind of close, but I think you should win that. I think you should also win Alabama A&M. I don't know about Alabama State. They've lost a lot. I ain't seen them bring in a lot.
Yeah.
So Jackson State, even though I think right now I would have them, but I wouldn't put that one past Quinn either. UAPB, that's a dumpster fire. I'm surprised that brother's still working. Thank God. Hey, there's a God somewhere. We all need that kind of favor. Southern, I mean, this is his first time coaching anywhere, so good luck. I don't think he's going to do well. Alcorn, I mean, that's a toss-up. And Valley, we ought to beat them by 70. And then Cookman, I mean, you know, the only thing I like about them is a quarterback. And everything else, I mean, you know, you better get your tetanus shot because we're going to beat them.
Wow. Not the tetanus shot.
Ashley?
So my floor is 7 wins and my ceiling is pretty much 9 wins, but I think those 2 wins, I'm kind of here like we're gonna get we might I feel like we might surprise 2. I'm not gonna say who, but I feel like we might have a underdog going into it and the bets are against us, and we might be able to pull one of those 2 that I'm thinking about out. But 7 is where I'm kind of hovering around at the moment. And then I think we all might be like, oh, kind of like what Charlie Ward doing us right now, because let's just be honest.
Exactly.
It's kind of like, for him on the basketball side of things. So I'm giving Coach Quinn and his amazing assembled staff the ability to kind of shock us here at a game where nobody was going to give us the prediction to win.
All right, Marcus.
I've got a floor of 7 wins and a ceiling of 9.
7 and 9. Floor 7, ceiling 9. Kelvin?
Well, I was one of those people when we hired Charlie and that staff was announced that said in year 1 we will win and we'll be in the top 4. So right now it's looking good. Again,
Kelvin, you're right. You did. You are one of the few that I remember sticking to that. So you're right.
I believe in this staff. I'm saying we're going undefeated at home. It's going to start there.
I like that. I like that prediction. I like that. I can dig
and
that.
So now, can we win 2 out of the 4? I'm saying we can win 2 out of the 4 road games. Not that's not Miami or neutral site games. So
look at the
so my sweet spot is 8.
Hold on, Kelvin. Can we put South Florida Rattler on the screen?
Yeah, please.
Sorry,
Jimmy,
Kelvin.
late night. He late night. I don't know.
Catch somebody slipping eye.
Gosh.
It's coming football players slipping with their girlfriend.
Lord have mercy.
All right, sorry.
No. So 9 is my ceiling. And 7 is my floor. But it would not shock me if we did go 10.
The allegations of being a cult. We're never beating those allegations.
No,
of course not.
We are.
You saying it's a chance. Jimmy said, so you saying it's a chance.
1%. 1%
I just need
is
to
a
know,
chance.
like, is there a plan to just kidnap Mark Fletcher and Malachi Tony before the game? I'm just curious.
We beating everybody.
Didn't Malachi Tony
happened on a flight from California back to South Florida? Remember that. That's a long trip.
That's true. So I'm just curious how this is going to work. Okay.
No,
hey.
see what South Florida Rally forget to tell you. He playing NCAA Dynasty. That's Dynasty mode that he's talking about.
That must be Sega Genesis.
That's his Dynasty mode that he done got built up. You know what I'm saying? Got a new stadium and all that. So that's his NCAA Dynasty mode.
The only I'm like you, Campbell. The only prediction, I learned my lesson last year. The only prediction I will make is that we will open the season unbeaten.
Hey,
because I really feel we will win the opening game of the season. And then we're just gonna watch the rest of the season play. I'm sorry. Okay, whatever.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is what trauma looks like.
Right. Don't say it was chess, Brian. 7 wins.
Hold on. Wait a minute.
Brian was giving all the.
I'm gonna help Brian out. Brian is with me. I said, and I think Brian agreed with. If we win the games we supposed to win last year, count those up. You would know what the number is.
7 to 8 wins.
Okay.
So
that's all I'm saying.
That's how I ended up at 8 wins.
So now, if to Kelvin's point, if we cooking, then y'all can go crazy. But I think me and Bryan on the same way. We just saying it a different way. We still got the positivity.
If we cook it, it's catfish and mullet sandwiches
Bryan
all day.
Well, I can say this.
How's your hot sauce and your mustard?
Wow.
Having made predictions with Bryan every year for the last 5 years on all kind of games, Bryan is scary. If we had win 10-2 last year, Bryan would still be talking about, well, you know, it kind of worries me.
Hey, Kelvin, not only is he scary, he gonna be real political with it too. Because
Bryan was on.
Bryan gonna be real political. Bryan, you can listen. I'm gonna tell you a funny story. You hadn't been on. We were doing this, right? We were just going there. You come in there. Well, you know, I think we've got to look at the other side. We ain't looking at the other side. We ain't both sided nothing.
We saw back to back 40 pieces at Bryan. Bryan like, yeah, we turn it around. We about to turn it around, getting slapped. No, take the blood on him.
Give RJ another chance. Y'all don't see it. Man,
Bryan making me mad.
Bryan RJ stats. Well, if you look at the stats, where he's compared to Andrew Body, he's the second best quarterback.
This Negro couldn't read defense.
I have to keep y'all tuned in and listening, and at least give you a sliver of hope and belief. That's my job. My job.
There wasn't no hope last year.
Hey.
Until there wasn't.
Come out and pull the receipts out on you like
that. I was wasting Saturdays last year, man.
And listen, but here's the thing with Bryan. Hey, Kelvin, here's the funny thing. Me, Cheryl, and Keith was sitting out there, right? So we're sitting in the press conference, and we like, hey, why that man ain't throw the ball past 5 yards? We come on here with Kelvin. Well, you know, those were good passes, those 3-yard passes. That, you know, he was trying.
3 yards.
3 yards in a cloud of dust.
But I tell you what, let me say
when he
this.
told Troy, don't ask me about my quarterback no more. I knew what time of day it was.
This. Them 3-yard passes got that boy in bag. Y'all see what happened to him. So y'all can say whatever y'all want to say.
Yeah, he was
Bryan
one of the worst football teams in Division I football.
Don't matter. He got a bag.
He might have got a bag, but
don't matter. He got a bag. He got a bag.
He was digging and dunking us all season.
Thank you, Tasha.
We wish him the best. We wish him the best.
I do wish him the best.
Yeah,
I wish him better than that though. UMass sucks. They stayed in
sucks.
brag.
UMass sucks. They got Jamarcus Russell Jr. match made in heaven. Perfect marriage.
Wow.
No, neither one's going anywhere.
Well, you know what? I hate to be as somebody fathers and not to, you know, rain on anybody's parade, but the problem is they also brought the quarterback in from Virginia Tech, who was the Massachusetts Player of the Year.
Oh wow!
Right, a week later. So
I mean, you said that like Massachusetts is a football power state.
I'll say if the kid can go to Virginia Tech and play, and he played.
Oh, okay. Well,
I wish better for RJ than that. I'll say that.
Well, if he got some money, he got a bag. It's touch. Hey, good. More power to him.
Hey, Bryan, I do have one. Ain't good money. Bryan, I do have one fearless prediction that when you're doing the play-by-play, and you will be able to say instead of it's 3rd and 8, you gonna be able to say it's 3rd and 2 this time. I guarantee.
Over under. Bryan says move those chains per game 10 times because I promised last year.
I feel better for you, Bryan, just for that.
As long as I don't have to say, "Oh no, he's wide open." As long as I don't have to say that, I will consider it a win. Okay.
Will Bryan be able to say touchdown in the first half? Will he be able to
let me somebody clip. Let's get that bet going. Now clip that, please.
Or will we be able? We gonna be able to use that cannon that everybody was mad about last year? We didn't need it last year, y'all. The news flash. We didn't even need a cannon.
You didn't need no cannon last year.
How many times we gonna see them touchdown lights get used for touchdowns instead of just for we not paid for them? We just got to use them.
We do not. Might as well flash them up.
Y'all leave. I hope y'all getting all that trauma from last season out. We don't want to dress this again no more.
Let's get it on out. This is there. You gotta get it out. We're gonna start fresh.
Look, I got to get me a leather jacket like the president to wear some of these games.
Kelvin, I guess the over hit on that early show prediction or whoever put that out there. I will say it's time to go. Sadly, I would say, hey, no one's talked about basketball, but I know some of y'all are gonna look at me like, oh, I'm out. But anyway, yeah. So we will have to table our discussion. Maybe, I don't know, anybody doing the show Thursday? Keith, you're doing the show Thursday, right?
Absolutely.
All right. So maybe on Thursday, maybe some of us will come jump in on Keith's show and we'll talk about basketball and what Tashay she's like, I'm out. So then
Tashay too cute for my show.
I was going to close it out of here, but Tashay said I got to go. All right, it's all good. Let's get ready to wrap. So we will wrap it up and close out the show. There it is. All right, so Tashay's out. Thanks for Tashay for coming in. She's like, I got to go to work in the morning. Oh, wait a minute, she's back. All right, hold on. Maybe. All right, so we will wrap it up. We'll give her some grief when she logs back in. But thank you to everybody. Quickly, let us know where you're at, where we can find you next show. Go, Ashley.
Fang Exchange. We actually moved our day. We typically go on Thursdays, but we found it beneficial and necessary to switch over to Tuesdays. So we will officially, and this previous Tuesday was our first time officially doing that. So next week and the following weeks and moving forward, we officially changed our YouTube weekly show, to Tuesdays. Myself, Mr. Shea, who was also on the screen or trying to come back to the screen, disappeared like a thief in the night over there. But myself and her, along with oftentimes guests, we speak all things FAMU athletics. We are in an NIL organization and we support student athletes. At Florida A&M, we look to improve, grow, scale upward in 2026. So come find us, Fang Exchange, on all platforms, Twitter, X, Facebook, as well as Instagram. Be on the lookout. We have some really big and cool things that are coming up very, very soon. And shout out to our guy, Terrell Jennings, for making it to the Super Bowl.
All right. Go ahead, Keith.
Oh, man. Look, tomorrow, Fangs Up podcast. As Bryan mentioned, it's funny. Yes, basketball is going to be the highlight. Kind of looking to see if our teams can bounce back. Also, talk a little bit about the schedule. We got to talk a little trash on it. And just, get ready for the track team's going to be up there. People that are up in the track. So, making that team, but, good time. We always get in trouble. And I'm like y'all. I'm in line like Troy and the rest of y'all, trying to get our good athletic director on the show, and looking forward to having him come on. Great conversation with him with St. Clair last week. But so I'll be there Thursday, then Friday, round one with St. Clair Rain, and then Sunday back to the Fangs Up podcast.
Nice job.
Real quick, someone asked what time for Tuesday nights, 8 p.m. on Tuesdays for the new showtime.
Nice. Go ahead, Mr. Campbell, Steve.
Well, HBC Coach Corner will be back. We are working because I know Coach Quinn Gray has been out recruited, and we were going to try to have him on Tuesday, but I forgot that's National Signing Day the next day, so we'll see what happens. We're going to have him. We're going to have Chennis Berry coming on. We're going to have Ted White, and we're probably going to try to get Coach Charlie Ward on HBC Coach's Corner to talk a little bit about basketball and what he's done. So, exciting time. You had Coach Beall on, Coach Shouppe. I'm super excited that, again, we've gone 28 days without any FAMU foolishness. Let's keep it going, guys. Please, let's keep it going. And, that's what we're going to have on HBCU Coach's Corner.
I love that. 21 days without FAMU fools. Let's keep that going.
That's the streak.
Troy,
That's the streak.
That's the streak. Right. Let's keep that going. Troy, let them know.
So you can find us at Fat Mouth Sports on YouTube. We will have tomorrow on Thursday at 8 o'clock. We will have Coach Jonathan Hernandez from Bethune-Cookman on, talk about some SWAC baseball, the FAMU-BCU rivalry. We'll also have Jay Beall, former Florida A&M football player, on to talk about some wild times that our group experienced while we was in Tallahassee. And on Tuesday coming up, we're going to have A.D. Davis on. He was supposed to be on this Tuesday, but he had an emergency. So this Tuesday coming up, he'll be on the show. And we'll talk about his vision for FAMU, specifically NIL, revenue share, facilities, things that, we've been asking for, and how we can get more information about, you guessed it, season tickets. So that's on Tuesday at 8:30. As always, like, share, subscribe, lead with love, and have fun, man.
Beautiful. Go ahead, Jay Peeps.
So, yeah, y'all can find us on Facebook at Penalty Talk, on Twitter at Penalty Talk, on Instagram at Throw Flags. Rattler Roundup podcast is back officially. Being Ace. Been trying to get in touch with Bishop. I know he's got business to take care of right now, so we're gonna wish him the best with that because it's all about securing the bag first and taking care of the family and everything. So whenever he comes back, we'll welcome him with open arms. But out of respect for Fang Exchange, I will discuss with Ace about moving the Rattler Roundup podcast back to 9 p.m. because ladies first, and then of course Run and Gun podcasts on Wednesday nights at 8. Me, Ace, Mr. Sasser, and all of our foolishness and stuff and craziness and out-of-pocket takes. Something's wrong with those guys. But yeah, also too, did speak briefly with Quinn. Hopefully we can get him on one of these Tuesdays. Hopefully we can get AD Davis on as well here soon. So, we'll see. I know they're probably watching. So, come on, let's chop it up. Let's talk about it. Please. We'd love to have you. So yeah.
Good stuff. All right, GT3, let them know where they can get all your work and what's upcoming.
Yeah, of course, Tallahassee Democrat. You see, I got my own page on here. I don't know if you can see like that, but if you Google Gerald Thomas, Tallahassee Democrat, click the first thing and I'll pop up all my recent work. And if you want to go straight to the FAMU coverage, just type in rattlernews.com. And that'll take you to the Tallahassee Democrat FAMU sports coverage. So yeah, man, schedule dropped. It's been kind of a busy few weeks, coming into this new year, just with the coaching hire, and then this week with the schedule dropping and the coaching staff being announced and all those things. So there's been a lot of things to cover, been a lot of news that's just been flowing out of FAMU, new athletic director, and then now you got basketball. I'm doing some big things. I want to see more people in them stands at these games. Because they're out there winning. And I'm talking about both teams. So, but what's to come? Basketball season still going. I mean, will we be in March Madness? This year. Just gotta wait and see. Baseball is on the way. Be on the lookout for some baseball coverage, and just continue to support me, man. Still coming in with the coverage. So, I appreciate y'all for having me on tonight.
Hey, I got one quick. Hey, Gerald, can we get that paywall hookup though, bro? Because we be trying, we gonna read the first two sentences and then. So what we gotta get to do get that paywall?
Hello.
You trying to get Gerald fired? You trying to get him fired now?
Oh, my bad. I hit you on the back.
Yeah, that's above my pay grade, man. That's above my pay grade. But if you do subscribe, it do make me look good now. So
okay.
Something to think about now.
Tell them, Gerald, it's commission based, and see that help you out a little bit. You get a little something from that, maybe.
Yeah. So
I want to add one more thing too before we wrap it up. Tuesday specifically, as we intended last week to happen, we will be teaming up with Troy and the crew for the AD session on Tuesday. So while we will go on, we always, as intended last week, to kind of bring everybody on over, and we'll be in one place on Tuesday to make sure we speak with our new AD. So just a heads up for that, for Fang Exchange.
Nice. Well, hey, I on behalf of Marcus and Kelvin, we appreciate you guys coming on and hanging out with us so late and chopping up and talking about the new coaching hires and the new schedule. For anybody still watching or maybe watching on replay, in the top left corner is the QR code for the all-in Restore to Strike campaign. I'm looking at live numbers right now. We are over 203,000, actually 203,340 to be exact, with 629 donors. We've got 2 days to the 31st. I'm sure maybe it'll be open afterwards, but the goal is to get to 250 in the next 48 hours. Let's see if we can get that done, Rattler Nation. Let's see if we can get up to 1,000 donors. I mean, 629, it's not impossible to get to 1,000. And at 1,000 donors, we can very possibly reach this goal of $250,000. So I want to encourage you guys that. You can follow all the social media handles. You see it at the top of the screen. You can always support the show by hitting the Cash App button there as well, $sign MyJBM, MyBCSN. Make sure you follow, like, and share the show, and that's going to do it for us. I'm going to close it out by playing that little short, nice little video by Marvin Green, and for our Avengers, Tasha, Ashley, Keith, Steve Campbell, Troy, Jay Peeps, Gerald Thomas, Marcus, Kelvin. Got to thank Coach Beall and Coach Shouppe for joining us in the first hour with the great softball and baseball preview. Let's get ready for those seasons. And let's all talk FAMU basketball maybe tomorrow on Keith's Fangs Up podcast, since we didn't get to it tonight. All right, fellas, ladies, have a good night, everybody. Get some sleep. Get to work on time tomorrow if you can. And God bless everybody. Fangs up. And Rattlers, let's make sure we strike again. All in for Quinn. Restore the strike. Peace out, everybody.
Thank you, Rattlers. Thank you. We're almost there. Restore the Strike campaign is 5 days away from being finished. You see where we are? Bragg Stadium. We're almost at the finish line, but we need you to cross it. Tell 5 friends about this. Get involved right now. Get all in on the Restore the Strike campaign. 250K is the goal. January 31st is the date. We need you, and we need 5 friends to get all in.